And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And of course, it's a day after the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Of course, I'm going to get my bro on, Ron Harris, to give us the full rundown.
Yeah, I really missed you there, Giles. A lot of people were asking about you. But yeah, it's the Olympia. It's always an amazing show. This was quite a shocking year. We had, I think, 5 or 6 different reigning champions dethroned. Yeah. Some of the times it was previous champions that got their title back. That happened in a couple divisions. We also saw the very first 2-division Olympia champion, Eric Lunsford, first person to do that, 212 Olympia, and now Mr. Olympia. So a lot of stories in the Hadi Chupan and walking. We got a lot of stuff to go over. So.
Hang on. Okay, this 2-division thing, it doesn't it count what Kamal did, winning the 212 and the Masters, and Dexter in 2008 and 2012 doing the same? Surely how is that different?
Well, the Masters isn't part of the Olympia weekend. It's not technically.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not an Olympia title. It has Olympia in the title, but nobody seemed to remember that like you just did. No, I didn't hear anybody say, "Hey, what about Dexter? Hey, what about Kamal?" So this is the first time someone's done 2 of the. We'll just call all these the Open Olympia titles,
right?
And the Masters is Masters. Yeah. But yeah, congrats to Derek, man. But we'll get into it. So, where would you like to begin?
Well, sorry, guys, just had a bit of a connection issue there. I heard the news as the show was going on that, I spoke to Jake at the Romania show at the after party last year, and he said we're going to be alternating it between Vegas and Orlando every year. And he said to me, actually, we're looking at the Mandalay, which is obviously where it was when I went in 2001, 2002. I'm sure you went to the Mandalay.
Yeah.
And also, or the MGM Grand. But now they've announced this new venue. What was the venue called again? I've forgotten now. It
had the word resorts in it. Resorts International or something like that. It's a brand new place I've never heard of. It must have just been built since the last time we were in Vegas last year.
Yeah. Because I was really hopeful. I've never been to the MGM Grand, but I was really hopeful for the Mandalay because, I went in 2001, 2002. And if anything, though, I think the disparity between that and the Orleans, I think maybe it was a bit too expensive, whereas the Orleans was, I think maybe this new place will be something in the middle.
Yeah, well, it's brand new, so that's exciting. And, nothing in Vegas that they're building now is subpar. It's all going to be state of the art, I'm sure, very spacious. And he did say the venue, to get to where the convention's going to be, the expo is going to be, you go through an underground tunnel or something, so you never have to cross these streets. It sounds like it's going to be really, really cool and convenient. And it's in October again.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, earlier.
Yeah, finally. We got to get it back. I want to keep it in September, October. October is probably the perfect month for it, I think.
It messed up all the qualifiers, didn't it? Because, a few weeks ago, there's people doing qualifiers for next year, and it's like weeks before this Olympia. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, it's a shame they couldn't have it in the Sphere, the new Sphere.
What's it called? The Sphere?
The big Sphere, the big ball thing. You've not seen it in Vegas. This massive thing, and they have like faces on it, and you must have seen that.
It's a concert venue, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool, sure.
So obviously you liked it being back in Orlando then?
It doesn't really matter to me. I prefer, it really doesn't matter. I never leave the building anyway, so it could be in Antarctica. It wouldn't really matter. But no, I like Orlando. I have nothing against Vegas, but yeah, Orlando's a more family-friendly town. I heard a lot of people, even if they weren't traveling with kids, I heard a lot of people saying they were going to SeaWorld today, or they were going to Universal Studios or Disney. So a lot of people are planning extra days in Orlando to take advantage of all the, the attractions that are there. You're not going to get that in Las Vegas.
Was it busy generally at the show?
Yeah, I was surprised. The expo was very crowded Saturday. Wow. Not as crowded as like the old days of the Arnold Expo where you couldn't move. So it wasn't that bad, but it was a good sized crowd.
Good. Right, okay, then let's get into it. I think we should start with the Open because, I've just been on, apart from going to the gym today, I've literally been on my phone all day, just messaging and DMing and discussing. People were there, people were watching, and it's quite a lot of, like any Olympia, everyone's scouring over the results and, and the physiques and zooming in on things, and I think a lot of photos have been photoshopped, by the way. Because I'm seeing, I'm like, somebody messaged me today, somebody quite high up in the industry, and he was saying, he says, Derek had this on his lats. And I says, well, I was watching the live stream till like literally every minute, and I didn't see anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know about the photoshopping. Everyone does their editing magic with the photos, that they post. But yeah, if you saw the stream, I was, it was reflecting what we were seeing on the big screens there live in the venue. It looked, a lot of times I was relying on those big screens because we were 3 rows back from the judges, and there were photographers in front of me, Jose, Mike, and Mandy. And, I found myself sort of trying to look around the cameras, and at times I would just look at the screens just to avoid to do that. So I think that stream gave you a very good idea of what was really being shown.
So with the obviously the Open, we had a lot of controversy. We had Nick Walker tearing his hamstring. We had Brandon that was like, is he in? Is he out? I'm messaging Brandy. She's telling me he's going to be fine. Then she sends me a letter saying, please don't post this anywhere, of his release from the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm messaging her, I said, is he okay? And the next Friday morning, I said, is he okay? She said, yeah, he hasn't had any food for 36 hours, but he's going to try and, because I thought on the first day, Brandon looked like a lot down. I mean, he looked a lot smaller. But day 2, I was like, okay, that's more the Brandon I was expecting to see. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, the first day, Friday night, the first night, he was deflated. He was very flat. He's got that round, bubbly look to him. So he still had that quality to the physique, but it was definitely not what we're used to. And even on Saturday, it was somewhere between that and the way he's supposed to look, the way he normally looks. But you know what? It didn't matter. Had he been at his best, he still took 4th place just like last year. I don't think no matter what he looked like, I don't think he was beating Samson. He sure as hell wasn't beating Hadi or Derek. So for everything that he went through, it didn't affect his placing at all. He wound up exactly where he would have been, I think. But, it's to his credit that he was able to pull it off, because goodness knows how many meals he missed with that whole issue. I'm sure many.
Well, she told me, she said he had no food, and then he wouldn't eat the food, obviously, they were trying to give him. And then when he could eat, he was eating salmon and sweet potato. She said they gave him pepsin.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have that in the UK. So, and she said, nope. She said he wouldn't take any pain medication, anything like that. And it was to do with an ulcer. That basically that's what they realized. And then they said, look, you're fine. You're good to go. You're fine to compete. And then I think, I think it's good that he took those precautions personally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, because they wouldn't have let him, if he had gone to the hospital and hadn't gotten a release from him, they wouldn't let him, they would not have let him compete. Yeah. They have liability issues to worry about. They have the Olympia brand has to be protected. And, but yeah, had he not gone to the hospital, he probably just would have been in so much pain. I doubt he would have been able to, I don't know what they did for him in terms of treatment, but it's very likely he wouldn't have made it to the show just because he would have been racked in pain and not knowing what was going on with him.
I think the biggest thing, the stress, is the uncertainty of not knowing what it is. Because if I heard he was throwing up blood, I didn't ask Brandy that. She didn't confirm that or deny that. But that's what I heard, and that's why he pulled out. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? If you get, I'm going to say when you get a chance to talk to him, I hope you get a full rundown on that, because we're hearing crazy rumors and so many different versions of it. And it'd be great to finally get him to, just like I got Nick Walker at the meet and greet.
Yes.
Until then, nobody really knew how he tore his hamstring, and everyone was coming up with their own theories and even presenting them as like, well, he was training, he was doing this or that, and they were completely off base. He wasn't even training legs when it happened. He was training chest. He stood up and the hamstring popped.
Oh, shit.
That had nothing to do with leg training at all.
Is it true he hadn't even been to the hospital, though?
That is true, and I didn't want to really challenge him on it, but I said, why didn't you get an MRI? I mean, this is your livelihood. He said in the interview that he had a very similar hamstring tear 3 or 4 years ago, and he did get an MRI at that time, and I guess it was just a partial tear and it didn't require surgery. And based on how this felt compared to that, he seems to be very certain that it's a low enough grade tear that wouldn't require surgery. If I were him, and this is my livelihood, and I want to become Mr. Olympia, I'd go get an MRI. What's the harm? Maybe he will.
So, I mean, I think people were thinking it was like a complete detachment. I mean, I've never heard of anyone having a hamstring detachment. I heard of plenty of having, I mean, I've heard of glute tears, you know, hamstring tears. I mean, Chris Bumstead's got a hamstring tear and he's got a slight little knot in one of them if you see it. But it's not, it's obviously not, it's not hindered him. So I think Nick's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, there are, I've talked to plenty of people that have had a full rupture, full tear of the hamstring. So it's not as uncommon as you think. It's just you don't hear a lot about it, but yeah, you know, we wish him the best. I believe he would have pushed Samson because he's got a very different look. Would he have beaten Samson? You know, everyone's trying to speculate how you have a lot of his supporters saying he would have won the show. I don't know. Who knows? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. He wasn't in the show, so we don't know. I
think he'd have been fourth. I think he'd have beat Brandon.
Oh, he would have beat Brandon. All right, nothing against Brandon, but I do believe he would have beaten Brandon.
Yeah. I mean, personally, going back to Brandon, on the first day, I had him like 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
And on the second day, I thought 5th or 6th. So I thought, you know, he looked a lot better. So I think, going back to Brandon, I think Brandon should be very, very, very happy with 4th. I think that's a win.
I wouldn't have placed him that high, to be honest. And it's not personal. It's just, nothing was really popping, and his legs looked a little downsized, even from what I remember. They were hard as nails. Condition was really good, but his legs were just very, very unimpressive and imbalanced compared to the upper body. I would have had him probably around the 6 or 7 spot. Sorry, Brandon. Don't get mad.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, I mean, we called Crizzo bang on 7th.
Yeah.
You know, I am really, really. I personally, I feel like he should have beat Hunter.
It could have gone either way. There was a couple of, once we got past the top 5, I think like 6, 7, 8, 9, you could have shuffled things around a few different ways, and it wouldn't have caused too much of an uproar.
I think this was the best Hunter we've seen at the Olympia, though.
At the Olympia, yes. I think he looked better when he won the Tampa show earlier in the season, a couple months back. Didn't have the same look. To me, he had that film again, that little film, where he's not really granite hard. The best condition I've seen him in so far was Tampa, although I wasn't there in person, but based on the stream, it wasn't quite as tight and dry this time. But it was good enough. I mean, geez, 6th place, right?
Not bad. Yeah, top 6. I mean, he must be happy with that.
I'm sure he's not happy, but you can't be too angry to be top 6 at the Olympia.
Yeah. Right, I want to talk about Andrew Jacked. I mean, I've been speaking to him today a little bit on messages. Because I'm trying to get him to do Prague, and he says, bro, I can't get my visa. I was like, oh, because he said he would have done it to get, because obviously it's an early, because he wasn't top 3, and only top 3 qualifies for next year. So I said, come and get an early qualification, you know? And then obviously Nathan and Crizzo would have some really good competition there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't know why he wouldn't. He's had a very long year. You know, anybody that did the Arnold Classic and the Olympia this year, they didn't get a whole lot of break time in between. Yeah. You're talking about now asking people if they're going to do the Arnold, which is, it's like 17 weeks away. It's coming right up. Actually, I think it's 16 weeks or less. So there's like no time. There's really no time to let the body regroup and, you know, get healthy again, everything set. You know, and that's why. Have you talked to Sam about the Arnold?
Yes, I have.
Is it a secret? Are you gonna?
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it.
Oh wow!
And he's doing the Arnold UK 2 weeks after.
Wow. Well, okay, well that makes sense.
And also, I think it's worth mentioning that the Arnold Classic UK, I've pretty much checked on this. I'm pretty certain, but the prize money at $500,000.
Yeah.
For the pro, I think that is the highest prize money of any pro show ever in Europe.
Is that for the winner? The winner gets $500,000?
No, $500,000 is over all the divisions.
Okay.
But that's pretty high for a European show.
Well, for any show that's not the Arnold or the Olympia, for that matter.
Yeah. Well, it's $650K with the strongman, but it's $500K for the pro divisions.
Yeah, that's the biggest payout in any show that's not the 2 big shows. So good on them.
I'm sure it's 100 or 150 for first.
Yeah.
So, but Samson's in for both. So if they still do, I mean, if he wins that and then he wins the Arnold UK, he could potentially win 450K.
Oh, oof, nice.
Yeah.
Nice little. Yeah, but Andrew Jack, getting back to you, I thought he looked really good. Kind could have been a little bit tighter from the back, a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's still got those crazy shots. His frontal bicep, his front lat spread, that side tricep, his ab and thigh. He really doesn't have any weak poses. But yeah, I thought 5th place was great because what was he last year? 8th? 8th. So moving on up.
Yeah.
I don't got to do with that. It's like Samson, 6th to 3rd. We'll talk about it, I'm sure. But anybody that moved up, 2, 3, 4 spots, you've got to be happy with that.
Okay, my observation about Andrew, the conditioning was good, but I've seen it better.
Yeah.
And obviously he made strides in conditioning, at the Arnold and then at Texas. I felt like his lower body, for me, I felt like he put fullness and size on in his upper body, but not his lower body. And for me, I feel like he's lost a little bit of balance now.
Yeah, actually, people around me, I heard a couple people whispering that his legs look downsized. And I said, I don't think his legs got smaller. I think his upper body's a little fuller.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would only get fuller in the upper body, assuming it was like a strategy thing where he just wanted to come in overall bigger and fuller. Why wouldn't it go to the legs too? I mean, I don't know who could answer that question, but it was puzzling.
Yeah. No, I feel like, because I look at his chest, and if you look at his chest and his side tricep and his arms, like everything was just bigger. It was just bigger. And I felt like his body had been responding since Texas. And obviously the leg training probably hasn't. But for me, I feel like I said, I feel like there's a bit of disparity now between the top and the lower half.
Yeah. Strange.
Yeah.
But his place, he's top 5 in the Olympia.
Yep.
We keep reminding people, March of 2022, he was an amateur. He turned pro a year and a half. So quite a progression. He's already won 4 pro shows. He's got the 2 Texas twice, the Arnold UK.
Yep.
3 pro wins. 3 pro wins, and now 7th at the Olympia and 5th at the Olympia. So
8th and 5th, yeah.
He's somebody that's a work in progress. People like to talk crap about his age because I think he's 38. 38 years old, but he's still fresh. He's young in the game.
Yeah.
His body's been through 20, 30, 40 contest preps where that just ages the body and takes a toll on everything. But 38 years old on his birth certificate, but as a bodybuilder, he's still young, I would say.
Did you speak to him over the weekend?
Nope, not once. It was hard to get near him. He had people.
Yeah.
You have to sort of choose your battles when you're trying to talk to people.
Yep.
Especially like, as that meet and greet or the Meet the Olympians.
That's stressful.
Oh my, that is my least favorite part of the weekend. I have most anxiety about that.
I used to have nightmares about that because it's the first bit of like real work you do when you get there. And it's we you and me are chatting now, but there's not 300 people in this room or out in the outside, It's like there's no distractions apart from the bloody fireworks coming because November the 5th. I think they've just stopped now. But like there's like you feel all these eyes on you. A lot of people are pissed off because they're in the queue and you're cutting the queue to basically speak to them. I mean, I've actually gone what? I've actually said that to people. What? I was interviewing Rulli at 2017, and somebody went, "Oh," and I went, "What? I'm doing my job."
Oh, that's funny because it was. Was I there? Was that the same time when the New Yorker started yelling at us?
Yeah, I can't.
He was with us?
I couldn't give a shit. I just block him out.
Yeah, I mean, so Derek, I waited for Derek and Steve's going to get mad when he hears this because he wants me to get as many interviews as possible.
Yep.
But in my heart, I'm saying this guy has a great chance of becoming a Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
2 days from now. I really need to get this interview. If it makes me miss a couple others, then so be it. I stood there for 30 minutes.
Wow.
He said, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And 28 minutes later, we finally talked. But fans were coming at him. He's trying to eat, okay? And he's got people throwing weight belts at him to sign, T-shirts. They're all jumping back. And so there's this long queue, as you say, a long line in front.
Yeah.
And then somebody got the idea to come behind the table and start another line.
No.
And his training partner, somebody should have stopped him because you can't have 2 lines from 2 different directions. And they're like tapping him on the back to take pictures. And he's being gracious, and he was so exhausted. He looked like he was about to pass out the whole time.
Yeah.
That was probably his last depletion day. Yeah. But I saw the meal he was eating. It was a very small portion of food. So he was probably depleting at that time. But he's a trooper, and I got the interview. But yeah, I don't like the meet and greet, the Meet the Olympians. I don't like cutting people in line.
Yeah.
Because I feel like such a rude bastard.
I know. I mean, like I tried to get close to Bumstead and even Nick Walker last year, and it was like, it's pointless. It's pointless.
Dude,
I'm not gonna waste time. I'm not gonna waste time waiting here when I could go off and get 3 or 4 interviews in that time.
Bumstead had, so that the VIPs got in at 7, and thanks to Dan, I had a VIP badge as well as a usual media badge.
Good.
Because
thank you, Dan.
he gave us VIP seats. So thank you, Dan. So I got in there at 7. By 9:30, we'd done a bunch of interviews, and it was me, Mike, and his wife Mandy, and we're like, let's just go. 9:30, Chris Bumstead still had at least 500 people waiting to meet him. Huge line wrapped around the whole perimeter of the room, and he's still there. He was still there. Like I would just have my team throw a sheet over me and just rush me out of there.
Yeah, I mean, when I've worked on stands with Ronnie, I mean, there's been people literally queuing him for hours. And it comes a time when he's been literally on his feet for like 3-4 hours, and we have to say, sorry, we're gonna go to the green room, we're gonna go for some lunch, we've got to take a break. And people look so annoyed. It's like, well, what can we do? You can't just stand there for 10 hours straight, you know? Yeah. I mean, it's really, it's tricky, and I would get nervous about kind of doing that, you know? But and was Derek, was his wife there?
No, I didn't see her there. I think she's due maybe in like 5. No, they said, because I talked. We ran into on the way back after the show was all over. We ran into his mother, his grandmother.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if she's married. So the mother's husband or boyfriend, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It was his whole team, and she wasn't there. And I talked about I asked when's the baby due, and I think it's due like early January 2nd or something. But they're hoping it's born on December 24th, Christmas Eve, because that's his grandmother's birthday, I think.
Oh wow.
That's coming right up. That's next month. So yeah, she's probably not supposed to be on an air. She's not supposed to be flying and so forth.
I was just worried because if there's people like literally coming from the front and the back, and she's pregnant, and there's a lot of people around, that's not that. I would think that'd be quite stressful for both of them.
Sure. But yeah, you want to talk about Samson? Because
quickly, I'd like to touch on Andrew Jack. What was up with him? Because he just looked like he didn't want to be there. And I don't understand why, because he was in all good call-outs. Because last year, I know he was sick, because he had COVID or whatever. He was he was not well last year. But he looked happier last year. And I'm thinking, mate, you're obviously going to do better this year. But his routine was like, I just felt like he was kind of going through the motions a bit. I just wondered if you knew of anything, if he was okay or was he stressed out or...
No, don't know. But I noticed the same thing. He didn't seem to be as enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Wasn't smiling a lot.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. So yeah, I wonder, because he looked really good, and based on the call-outs, he was definitely in the top 5.
Yeah.
I hate speculating, but maybe it was clear by the end of judging that they had the top 3 locked up. That was the final call. Samson, Hadi, and so once he knew it was not top 3, maybe psychologically, the wind out of his sails.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's moving up. And like I said, he only turned pro bloody March of last year. I mean, it's insane. It feels like he's been around for years, and he's established, and he's a super pro. Do you know what I mean? The top 6 Olympia guys, that is, I mean, even top 10. I mean, those are the elite. There's a big difference between being top 10 and and being another pro.
Sure. I mean, he should be proud. I hope he's proud, because he moved up. He looked really good. I think he does need a break. I think his body's probably not responding as well, if I had to guess, just based on seeing him throughout the year at the Arnold and this and that. Not everybody's body can just keep going and going and going like Samson. Some people really need some time off.
Yeah. So quickly before we talk about Samson, who for you was the biggest shock or shocks?
I guess I would go with Krizo's condition.
Yeah.
Krizo's condition was among the very best in the whole show of any division. I think it looked like to me he was downsized a little. He didn't have his fullness as usual, but the condition was just bang on. Clearly, him and his coach, they conditioned and they got it. So very impressed with that. If he can bring that with a little more fullness next time, he's a tall guy with got long limbs. When he's not very full, it sounds stupid to say this, but he doesn't look that big and thick compared to the other guys. He's still got some crazy those shoulders and arms, but overall, because when you're watching from a little distance, and I was probably, I don't know, 12 rows back, that's when you can really appreciate the relative size of people based on, you have to be that far away. Because when you're up close, you're just overwhelmed with everything you're seeing up close and personal.
Did you see his arms and delts and the radial bicep? Did you see the level of stripiness and separation? And that I can't even find the words to describe it.
Yeah, I was very impressed. I think he's coming along. Like I said, this is only his second season as a pro.
Hey, Branch.
His dad. His only second season as a pro, and I think he's moving up rapidly.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 20 years to play with like a real young guy might, but I think we still haven't seen his final form. He's getting better. His back has improved significantly. I think we'll see the best version of Andrew maybe a year from now, year and a half from now. And then, hopefully he rides out that peak for a couple more years. So,
sorry, I go back to Krizo. He's doing Prague in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Against Nathan. I'm doing obviously I'm going to be there. I'm going to do the live stream commentary. But he's, I'd be interested. How do you think that'll shake itself out, Nathan versus Krizo?
Congratulations, Krizo.
Okay.
No, I mean, I take nothing away from Nathan. I think Nathan actually has more of a complete physique. He's got the muscle quality. Who was the other big name doing it?
Theo said today he's definitely doing Prague.
Okay. My gut tells me it's probably another win for Nathan.
For Nathan?
Yeah. Krizo could push him very hard, and he's a defending champion. We'll see what happens, but I would probably give the overall edge. I prefer Nathan's physique to Krizo's overall physique.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to doing the commentary because I want to see those two next to each other, because I think Nathan's condition is actually getting even better at the moment. The updates I'm seeing, he's really, really, really... And obviously when you're in condition for long enough, the skin gets even thinner. So I think conditioning-wise, they're going to be very, very evenly matched, because I think Krizo's not going to want to... I think Krizo's really going to want to get this early qualification out of the way.
Right.
I think he's going to be gunning for that, and then I think he might just... I mean, I'd love to see Krizo do the Arnold.
Oh, hell yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, selfishly, I know that it's not good for their overall, most guys, it's not going to serve them to do multiple shows throughout the year. Most guys do need solid breaks, but selfishly, we do want to see the best guys in a lot of shows, because it reminds us of the old days with the Grand Prix tours and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. It's probably going to come down to Krizo and Nathan, so you'll be calling that battle.
I can't wait. So let's talk about Samson.
Yeah, sure.
Didn't he do well?
Hey, he moved up 3 places. If he does that again next year, he wins.
Yes.
Yeah. 6th, 3rd, 1st. So, I'll tell you, people were actually talking more about him as a potential winner after the 212 was done, because they said, well, if Keon could beat Sean Clarita.
Yeah.
And Keon just has such a beautiful physique. He's not as dense and thick and rugged looking as Clarita, but if that's the standard that they're going to be going by, where aesthetics and shape and symmetry and flow and all that is going to have a little more priority, then maybe Samson Dauda could be Mr. Olympia. Didn't happen.
Exactly what I thought.
Yeah, it didn't happen, but it was a conspiracy theory that people were throwing around leading up to the show. People were walking around.
Even after day 1, I had Samson 3rd.
Yeah.
But based upon what happened at the Arnold Classic back in March, I was still hopeful that they could win it, because if you remember back to the Arnold Classic back in March, like Samson, I had 2nd or 3rd. I had Nick and Andrew potentially beating him on day 1.
Yeah.
But then what Samson did on day 2, when I spoke to Andrew Jack back a couple of months ago on Global, and he said, we talked about the Arnold, and he says, whatever Milos and him did that overnight, he says, I'd love to know. He says, because he came back, as soon as I saw him backstage, I knew that he'd won it. He said, that's what he said in the Global we had on, was it 3 months ago? I was like, that's what he said. He said, I don't know what they did. So I was kind of expecting that to happen again with Samson. Now, Samson looked fantastic day 1, but I thought he was going to do like a Mr. Saturday Night Phil Heath and come and literally bring something as dramatic as he did at the Arnold Classic from day 1 to day 2. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him. He kind of came back as good, but I didn't think that he was like... I mean, I don't think any of the top 3, for me, didn't really look like they pulled it out the bag for day 2. Because normally maybe it's different if you're there. Maybe day 2 they looked a lot different. What's your take?
Derek tightened up a little bit from day 1 to day 2.
Okay.
Body stayed the same, and I think Samson stayed the same. I love Samson's physique. I do not love his conditioning. I would love to see him I'd love to see those fibers and striations a little more crisp and clear. I don't know if it's a skin thickness issue. Milos is going to tear me a new one because hashtag bodybuilding. But
Yeah.
you know, I still want to see condition. I want to see everything. You know, especially when someone's got such a beautiful, unique physique like Samson does. I would love to see that with the level of condition and dryness that like Hadi shows up with.
Yeah.
That would win the Olympia for 10 years.
When he walks out front relaxed and he does the hip tilt, like the classic hip tilt, and with the shoulder, and he knows his physique inside out. You can tell he puts a lot of effort into, and he's built that physique is not built by accident. He knows exactly what he's doing and how to pose it and how to present it. When he walks out, it's like, how could anyone beat that?
You know, what's funny is Jose was next to me. Samson comes out and he's really just sort of standing relaxed, like you said, so you can really appreciate the silhouette of him.
Yeah.
And Jose says, that's my favorite Samson pose right there. It wasn't even really a pose.
Yeah.
He liked that better than any of the actual poses that he hits.
And also Milos, because I had Milos on the other week, and I said, is it true? I've heard a rumor that you're bringing him down to 290 to bring him in super conditioned. And then he said, no, well, we've not looked at the scale. We don't know. And then he posted on Saturday, Samson is 300 pounds on the dot. And I was thinking, okay, I'm not saying that's not true. I mean, because he looked huge. But did you ever think that we would see a 300-pound aesthetic bodybuilder on any stage ever?
Nope. No, I mean, when Ronnie was 296, he had lost a lot of the aesthetics that he had. His midsection had started to distend. He was big he was 296. He was the freakiest thing I'd ever seen in my life, probably still to this day. But we've never seen anyone with that little waist. That's what boggles my mind is that's like a 30-inch waist, 31-inch waist on a 300-pound man.
Yeah.
So it's when I say unique, nobody looks quite like Samson. Andrew has sort of similarities with the structure and different things, but Samson, you know, you could just look at everyone from the neck down, and you'd immediately say, well, that's Samson. That's definitely Samson right there.
I mean, the only physique I can kind of liken Samson's physique on the weekend is to like 2018 Sean Roden, but he was 238.
Wow, yeah. So it's
a bit of a difference, 62 pounds.
A taller, bigger Sean Roden, basically.
Yeah. I thought, I mean, from what I could see from the live stream and the photos, I felt like that was the best conditioning Samson has ever brought.
Yeah, but I still want to see more. I'm still a condition snob, and I want to see more because, like I said, he's got such a great physique. I think it would look even better with that extra level of condition. So whatever him and Milos can do if it takes coming down 10 pounds, he's still going to be 290 pounds.
Yeah.
I think he'd look even bigger. You know, I don't think he'd have to give up a whole lot of fullness. Of course, you know, I don't know his physique and how it responds to the carb up and things like that, but I don't think he would look worse for wear. I think he would look better.
I tell you what I really, really liked was the fact that he did a posing routine and he actually did slow transitions, powerful transitions, and he held his poses. Because I criticized, it was on the forum or on Instagram, and I said, I love Samson's posing, but if you watch the Arnold Classic routine, like, I mean, because I was thinking, obviously I used to be a photographer, I'm thinking, you know, when he does that shot with a hand kneeling down, like, and I actually saw him hit that pose when in the pose routine, and it's like a split second. I was thinking, well, that was a very lucky shot, but it's an iconic shot, and I'm thinking the photographer was very lucky to get that. So I was really, really hoping, especially with the new version of the physique that he seems to bring every single time, I was really, really hoping and praying he was going to do a routine like he did last night, and I was so happy. It was it was electrifying, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but Hadi Choopan had no routine.
Oh, don't get me... Nope.
Didn't hit any back shots. It was like a guest posing. He just went from one end of the stage, back and forth, hit a lot of most musculars, a bunch of frontal biceps and most musculars, and peace out. So you're Mr. Olympia. You should have a posing routine with put some level of artistry into it, some work, and a little bit of choreography, something so it looks like you really cared enough to put on a good show for the crowd. And just hitting a bunch of muscle shots, a bunch of hardcore shots. That's not a routine.
Ron, it was the same music he used last year.
Yeah.
And he came out and he just did I could probably do his routine. It was front relax, frontal bicep, and then he just ran up and down the stage doing. I thought, mate, this is the Olympia. Honestly, I actually said they should knock him down to third just for that.
Well,
seriously, because mate, this is Ron. This is the Olympia. This is the Olympia, and if you know that you're going in against really, really tough competition, you make sure that every single box is ticked. Pose and routine, like his tan, like I felt day one, his tan was yellow. Yeah,
but the posing, that tells me that he just doesn't put a lot of he doesn't hold it in as something important, something that needed to be
bad.
Spend time. He would rather spend more time and energy on his training, cardio, whatever. But yeah, please, Hadi, if you somehow hear this, please come up with a routine next year, please.
I mean, I know Ramy used to do the running up and down the stage and hitting the most muscular and front lat spread, but at least, like, say, at least probably maybe a minute, maybe just less, was choreographed floor poses, nice transitions. I mean, like, you think about, right, like, you wonder why the classic class is getting so popular, and then you see someone like Rough Diesel.
Yeah.
Like, my hair's short, but my hair was on end from start to finish. I was just like, it was like a 3-minute orgasm.
Yeah, he was great. Urs had a routine with Jay Cutler doing a little voiceover in there.
Yeah, see?
3-minute orgasm. Look at poor Lauren.
Sorry, darling.
Yeah.
I've had a 2-minute one, never a 3-minute one.
It's the Hadi. So let's get into Hadi versus Derek, if you don't mind. Because
please.
I honestly did not know which way it was going to go after Friday night. I was biting my nails. I was like, I want Derek to win. It's nothing against Hadi. It's just personally, I admit I'm a little biased because I know him so well. I've known him since he turned pro, and I've interviewed him a dozen times or more, and I just didn't know because I saw the same issues as last year where Derek was beating him on the back shots.
Yeah.
So Jose seems to think Hadi beats him in the lat spread, and Derek wins hands down the rear double bicep. But from the front, I still saw Hadi had a huge advantage in the amount of muscle maturity and density and detail.
Yeah.
That's chest striations, the shoulders, the arms. He hits even his front double bicep. You saw so much clear delineation between the bicep and the tricep. Derek doesn't have a lot of that. Just certain things like that, I could justify giving it to either guy, and I didn't know which way it was going to go. I don't know if the scorecard is out. I bet it was it had to be within a couple points, these two, right?
It wasn't like 3-3-3, 6-6-6. There was like, it was a bit up and down. Do you know what I mean? There was judges that because personally, I still, regardless of what I've said about Hadi with the pose routine, the tan, and the fact that from the back, he, like last year, he wasn't as conditioned as he was from the front of the side, which allowed Derek to certainly take him in those both back shots, I think. Because in Hadi, in terms of muscularity, he's probably matches, maybe even supersedes Derek in terms of actual muscle thickness.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy. Pound for pound.
But the fact that he came out and for me he was a little like even the real bicep. Look at his shoulders. Look at the back. It definitely lacks separation. Whereas Derek was just like stripiness galore.
Yeah, stripiness galore. And people. I did hear some little whispers about Hadi's shoulders again. They didn't look. Occasionally from the back, I would see like a weird looking angle or whatever. I'm not going to go there. I don't think that played a factor in
They were better than they were in 2021.
Oh, 100%. That was awful. But yeah, I honestly wouldn't have been surprised or upset. I would have been gutted for Derek, but I wouldn't have been outraged. Like, what a horrible decision had Hadi kept the title. I mean, I thought he brought enough to retain the title if it came down to it. I've seen many times in the 30 plus Olympias I've been to where the reigning champ was off his game for sure, and he still won.
Yeah.
So I thought Hadi did enough to keep the title, but I'm so happy for Derek. So happy for him.
I actually thought Hadi was going to win.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that Derek won because it was, like you said, in some ways it was a bit of a flip of a coin. But I was really, I think, do you film me when because I was sat here watching it on this screen. And when Bob said, "I knew," I mean, I just lost my shit. I mean, I just completely, I was like, no, wow, oh my God. Like when Sean Roden won in 2018, when everyone I took a video actually as everyone just jumped up and just went, holy shit. It was like such a shocking moment, you know, and obviously I was so happy for Derek, you know, and I mean, do you know what though? I tell you what, I've been getting a lot of messages today of people pulling Derek's physique apart.
Really?
Honestly, long messages of why does he stand like that? What's that in his lats? What is bodybuilding anymore? I'm like, he doesn't. I'm sure somebody said that he doesn't even have a good back or something. I'm like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I tell you what I do. I did notice.
Fucking nuts.
I don't like the way he stands relaxed. His elbows are too high. I wish he would drop them down and roll his shoulders forward a little more.
Oh, yeah, but it pronounces his shoulder to waist. That's why he does it, because he likes to open up. Because remember he did it last year when he first walked out, and the last time we'd seen him was as a 212, and then he walks out. And I just remember everyone in the audience just going, wow, going crazy. Because that was the thing I think I was most looking forward to, seeing Derek as an open. Do you know... do you speak to Derek? Did you know what he kind of weighed? Because I know he was 212 as a 212. Then he was like, 280, 228, 230. Because he looked a lot. When he first came out by himself, you know, when the show started, and he hit that frontal bicep, went, oh my God, that pose is even more impressive than last year.
Yeah, I don't know. If I had to guess, I bet it's only a matter of 4 or 5 pounds. Right. But that makes a big difference, especially we're talking about guys that are 5'5", maybe a little more on a good day. So that's a significant increase, especially where the conditioning was just as good as last year, if not better. I think it was better than last year.
And someone said he had no legs. Another person said he had no calves. I'm like, no. What are you freaking looking at? Seriously.
Some of these fans are blind, ignorant, or both. I'm not really sure.
Or a bit mental. Yeah. Or a Haddy fan.
Yeah, well, we haven't talked about death threats or anything yet. So.
I tell you what I do want to talk about. What was your feelings? What? You okay? Oh, sorry. What's your feelings on Haddy at the end when he walked off? What was your take on that, being there in person?
I don't know what he was feeling in that moment. I don't want to speculate to his emotional state. He was clearly very upset. I think he should have sucked it up, been a good sport. Jose defended him as saying, I don't know who the quote comes from, some famous athlete, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser.
No.
Yeah, I mean, when Hadi beat Derek last year, Derek was gracious.
There you go.
Hugged him. You congratulate him because it wasn't, and he didn't, it's not like he shunned him or anything and, spat in Derek's face or anything like that, but he just walked off. There's a time and a place. He could have at least composed himself and waited till he was backstage to get really upset and let feel his feelings. But to walk off like that, I don't think we even have a picture of the top 5 because of that, right?
Exactly. And you know what? Two things I'll say to that.
Yeah.
First of all, that's his teammate with Evogen.
Yes.
I mean, if I was Hani, I'd be having serious words with Hadi when they got back. Do you know what I mean? Saying, mate, you need to reach out and either do a public apology or you need to apologize to Derek personally and even the rest of the guys in the top 5.
Right.
Because that's kind of like saying, basically like second's not good enough for me. And it's like, well, I thought it was really, really bad sportsmanship. And also, okay, Jose, that's fair enough what Jose said, but look at Sean Clarita, because I had Sean Clarita winning.
Yes.
And did you? I watched very, very closely how he responded when Keon won, and I'm telling you, that was a really, really classy way to do it. He was genuine. He seemed to be genuinely happy for the new champion.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you want to be, is it humble in victory and gracious in defeat? Something like that.
Yep.
And exactly, that's exactly how you handle it. If you want to come across as a good sport. Because it's up to the judges. He didn't flip them off or anything like that, like that Paula Burkham shot 1,000 years.
Yeah, 92.
But it's not a good look. It's not a good look for the reigning champion, the greatest bodybuilder in the world, to storm off stage like that. He took his medal off. It was just a whole. You could see he was in complete disagreement with the decision.
Tough
titty, as we say.
Tough titty.
it's not like he blew Derek away. It's not like he wasn't robbed.
Yeah.
There's, like, people will pick Derek apart, but if he had been that much worse, we would have heard a lot of booing. I didn't hear many boos at all. There were some, obviously a lot of Hotties fans are very upset right now, but you can't say Derek's not a great bodybuilder in his own right, even if you think Hottie's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Mate, I wouldn't have predicted riots if that top 3 had gone anyway, really. Like, say Samson had won. I think maybe people would be like, oh, Hattie, maybe Derek. But I think there would be no, like we've seen in years previous. Like, when Jay beat Victor Martinez in 2007 and everyone was just booing and going, what? Or I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other examples, but,
2010, the last year that Jay beat Phil Heath, as soon as second place was announced, Phil Heath, half the people got out of their seats and started marching for the exits immediately.
I was there.
The acceptance speech, nothing.
Yeah.
Disgusted.
I had Phil winning that one, and I remember because and then I heard someone behind me say, "No, Jay deserved to win that," and I turned around and said, "What?" And it was Lee Haney. And I went, "Sorry, Mr. Haney," and he went, "No, I had Jay winning that," and I was like, "No." I was like, "No, Phil won that one. He's an 8-time Mr. Olympia in my eyes."
Yeah, but everyone's this is a subjective sport. It is a beauty pageant with muscles. It's not it's not a sport in the sense that, rugby, soccer, football, baseball, basketball, it's not so cut and dried where you can say the guy who gets across the finish line definitely wins, or the team that gets the most goals across the line wins. It's not like that. It's still up to the judges and what they deem to be the best total package of all the attributes that they're supposed to be looking for. And they went with Derek.
Speculation is like literally, it's not even half the fun, it's all the fun. Isn't it?
I'm wondering, Tyler Mannion has done these videos usually a couple days later where he breaks down, especially where it was a controversial decision where people are questioning why people were placed where they were. So I'm wondering, we're doing this on a Sunday. I'm wondering if tomorrow Tyler Mannion's going to go on his Instagram and release a statement. As he has in the past. I'd be anxious to hear it.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. And also, I like Derek's routine as well.
Yeah, he had a routine. So.
Yeah. It's not even it's sad, isn't it? When let's just leave that alone. For me, I tell you, I was really, really shocked by, in a good way, Tony O'Burton.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That to me, I think those back shots could have even stood next to a Lunsford.
Because I was wondering, I said in the comments in one of Derek's pictures, said this is the best back in bodybuilding right now. Who's even close? Tonio's coming up on him. If Tonio's back gets better between now and the next time he competes, he's going to be pushing Derek for that title. It's the traps, the lats, the thickness, the shape. It's pretty amazing. I still feel bad that I think I discounted Tonio's chances of making top 10 because I didn't think he was big enough.
I did.
Yeah, but he's bigger now than he was in New York Pro for sure. I don't know what the weight difference is, but he's definitely getting bigger. He's closer to where he needs to be because he was at 212 when he first started. He was about 220 or 225 when he won New York Pro. I think he was 220, somewhere between 220 and 225. I bet he was another few pounds up for the Olympia.
The thing that really gets me was when he was walking off. It was just his rear delts and his traps and his back. When it was just when he was just walking off, relaxed, and he was just literally, you saw the back of him. I was just like, what? I mean, it looks like I can't explain it. It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
I keep comparing, and I know it's not the coolest thing to compare people to past champions because that they're their own person. But the Dexter Jackson similarities are eerie.
Yeah,
because see that when Dexter walked off, it was all you saw was the rear delts and the traps and the lats. So he looks like his long lost love child or something.
What was your take on Regan getting 9th?
Certainly didn't deserve any higher, but I'm happy for the guy to crack top 10.
Yeah,
his back development, another guy with a great back. I actually like his back shots better than his front shots.
Yes.
He still needs a little bit more, obviously, chest and biceps to move up. The condition was really good. It could be better. He's a work in progress, but he's definitely moving up. I mean, I had sort of written him off at one point. I was like, this guy's never really going to fulfill this. he's another one of those guys that was just hyped up too much, and he's got all these social media fans and everything, but he delivered. 10th, top 10. Was he ninth?
Ninth.
Yeah, I mean that's great.
Yeah,
that's top 10th Olympia.
I've messaged him today. We messaged him back and forth this morning. I was extremely happy for Charles Griffin getting top 10.
Yeah. That he was 10th, I believe.
Yeah.
So for him to be he was in the second call out at the Olympia.
Yep.
Proved himself, and it's because winning a show to get to Olympia doesn't mean much if it's a low quality show. And when I say that, I mean with not a lot of heavy hitters and big names in it. Like who'd you beat to win that show and get your Olympic qualification? But he delivered. He was in great condition again. Mm-hmm. I thought 10th place was right where he belonged. I'm happy for him.
Another really big shock for me was Hassan.
Hassan's condition. That's probably the best condition I think I've ever seen him in.
It wasn't just the condition. I think he's got even bigger.
He has.
How is that possible?
He's still a young guy. I think he's only in his early 30s still.
Yeah.
I did see. It seemed to me like his midsection got a little thicker too, though.
It's his Achilles heel, isn't it? Imagine if he had like a Derek Lunsford waist. I mean, he'd be top 2 Olympia with Hadi.
His torso, his midsection's like this. There's not a lot of taper to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a block, and he doesn't have. It's hard to tell because he's got so much ungodly mass on the shoulders, but he doesn't have very wide clavicles compared to put him next to like an Andrew Jacked, whose clavicles are like 4 feet across.
Yeah.
Man. But, tons and tons of muscle. His legs actually looked a little downsized to me, which I wonder it might have been intentional because I thought his quads were a little bit too big for his upper body. Actually, the whole pro. But they looked to me like they were a little bit downsized, and I think it gave him better overall balance.
Yeah. I was really impressed with Theo as well. I thought he brought a very, very polished, very professional. Like I said, he's probably the only pro that I've never seen coming off. And he's been like, what was it, top 5 in 12 shows? And we're talking like Puerto Rico, New York, the New York Pro, all over Europe. I mean, that guy is super consistent. And I spoke to him this morning, and I spoke to his dad, and he really, really feels that he should have been top 10. I think he was 13th.
Yeah, once you're into that realm of 10th through 10, 11, 12, 13, you could make really solid cases for the guys who were out of the top 10 but just missed it.
Yeah.
To put them on. It's I wouldn't have had any problem with him being 10th place. Yeah. Unfortunately, that would have knocked out Charles Griffin, but that's the way the Olympia goes. It's the best in the world, and somebody's going to get knocked down, and a lot of people are going to be upset because, again, it's subjective, and you might think Theo Lugel that he legitimately deserved to be in that top 10. Yeah. They could say he looks better than Charles, and who are we to say he doesn't? Yeah. Well, he looks better than Regan, and you're not necessarily wrong. It's different types of physiques, but yeah, good on him for doing how many shows? Like 5, 6. Okay. I think he did 6 shows this year.
Something like that. I mean, he does like the Egyptian guys. They do multiple shows. Why did Ross Flanagan not finish? He got a DNF on the score sheet saying did not finish. What happened to him? Is he okay?
I don't know. I assume it's on his Instagram. Usually they throw up some sort of explanation, but I don't know. It's we only had the top 5 pose. Is that right? I think it was only 5 guys.
In what? Sorry. No, top 10. It
was top 10 at the Olympia. Only the top 5 posed.
Yeah.
Which was unusual. I think they just need to keep. They wanted to get us out of there early. They were so adamant of not repeating the fiasco of 2022.
Yeah.
Where it went on till, was it 1:30 a.m.?
Yeah. Well, I was. Yeah.
It was late.
It was a late night. It was a late night when we were there.
Yeah, we were out of there at 10:30 p.m.
Wow, so. That's good. That's good. Did you did you go to Ronnie Coleman's after party?
No.
Oh man.
No, I had an 8 o'clock flight, so
yeah.
I went to the banquet, ate a big plate of food and a piece of. I said, I hate to be rude and eat and run, guys, but peace out. I'm out of here. I got to be up. Oh,
really? Oh, man, you needed me there to drag you out and take you partying.
Yeah, I didn't. There was no partying. But no, I'm sure it was a great time.
No wrestling dwarves?
No. Not that I saw. There were some strange characters walking around the expo, but no.
That's bodybuilding.
Yeah. There were 2 women that were walking around. Rich Gaspari put them on his Instagram with implants out to...
Oh, God.
like 4 feet in front of them. It was just, I don't know how they were even not tipping forward. And I'm not exaggerating. These are the biggest fake implants, fake boobs I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
You see some strange sights at these things exposed, anyway.
Yeah. The only other thing, did you want to talk about 212? Because
yeah, let's touch on 212 quickly.
Yeah, I mean the only ones I really only want to talk about the champ and the previous champ and the new champ, because it clearly showed a new direction that they were going towards. You know, Keon, I thought that Patrick and Keon did a tremendous job, brought him in. The best Keon I've ever seen.
Yes.
Still didn't think it was enough to overtake the qualities that Sean has in terms of that just crazy, gnarly muscle density, that grainy look. And that's going to take Keon some time. It's going to take a lot more heavy and hard training. Mm-hmm. But he's already the Olympia champ, so it's only up from here. But I was gutted for Sean, though, because I thought he did everything he needed to do. His condition wasn't off. He was up, 6 pounds.
6 pounds.
Yeah, we did notice he was starting to get a little bit, the very beginnings of it. He didn't have a bubble gut, but I could see it was just starting to creep up on him. And he can nip it in the bud now.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you think that's more to do with the loading? Do you think they load him too much and too late? Because, like I've heard of bodybuilders, early loading and then they back off because they don't want to get the gut. Because with the big guys, the amount of muscle, someone like him, he really wants to be full to bursting because that's his look. Do you think maybe they just force the food, maybe just push too late?
Yeah, we would have to talk to Matt Jansen and Sean, but that's a very likely scenario, because unless the extra weight, part of that did go to the midsection. His midsection, when he controlled it better, you didn't notice anything, but sometimes when he was turning to the side, it would pop out a little bit. In his front shot, some of the front shots you saw, like a little bit of the obliques starting to bulge out on the sides. It just, when you're that short and have that much muscle mass, you can't start getting any abdominal distension, or it ruins the physique.
I didn't notice it at the finals, but I did notice it at the prejudging. I felt like at the finals, because that's what I thought he'd won. I thought, okay, he sorted it out. But I tell you what, I have seen him a few percent, like 2% sharper. When he turned to the back, there was that 6 pound was not 6 pound of muscle. That was more like 3 pound of muscle and 3 pound of, because normally Sean is absolutely impeccably conditioned. I mean, you see him in the flesh. Like I said, I'm always disappointed when I look at photos. But for me, he was, it's like literally, it could be 1%, but I noticed it. But I tell you what, I noticed his shoulders are bigger.
Yeah.
My God, they're 4-dimensional now.
He did get bigger. It's just, I don't know if he needed to get bigger.
Yeah, he doesn't need to.
I still, if he had showed up exactly the way he did a year ago, maybe that Sean might have beat this Keon. I don't know. This was a better Keon than we've ever seen. I really don't want it to sound like I'm detracting from Keon's win. Nothing but love, and I'm so happy for him.
Me too.
He's been through ups and downs. A lot of us struggle with mental health and things like that. So I'm very happy for him and his success. And he's got the 212 Olympia title. I just, I'm that old school hardcore fan of guys like Ronnie and Dorian, and I want to see that type of condition, that grainy, every little muscle fiber.
And I noticed his conditioning was better he was like Derek Lunsford last year. His conditioning was better in his glutes and his hams. But for me, the rest of the body looked like it still needs a little bit more conditioning and maturity, maybe. But maybe that's just because next to Clarida, he's got so much maturity and density. Maybe you're going to look soft. Not soft, but, not as...
It's the same thing you have, very similar to comparing Derek to Hadi. Derek, by his own, he looks hard as nails and this and that, but when you put him next to Hadi, that level, it pales in comparison to that quality of the muscle.
Well, Keon weighed in at 207 as well, so he's in a really good spot. Plus maybe if you could argue he could get 2 or 3 pounds lighter, which make him more conditioned. And a guy that, is he 5'4", 5'5", I mean, he's got another 7 pounds, realistically, maybe 6, 7, 8 pounds he could put on before he even hits the limit. Because he said he wants to go to open. So, I personally, I think if he's got the title now, he's probably going to want to hold on to it for as long as possible. But then again, he might want to do what Lunsford did.
Yeah, well, I don't see him doing that anytime soon.
Yeah.
Moving to open, maybe in a couple of years. He's still only, I think he's 28 or 29. He's still very young.
He's still a kid. Yeah.
A kid. So, yeah, I don't see him doing that. I think, you know, he had to qualify for the show this year, so he had to be ready back in August to qualify at the Texas Pro. So giving him a full year, I think we will see more of everything that we want to see from Keon, because he's got more time to work on his physique than he did this past year. Because once you're in prep, you're not making any more improvements. You're just committed to getting all the fat off at that point.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to him and to Patrick. I messaged Patrick and I said, you know, fantastic, because Patrick was obviously so happy, you know, because that's, I mean, is that his first Olympia champion? I'm trying to think.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I mean, and also been speaking to Milos today as well, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back and forth there. We're sort of, you know, sharing information and stuff. So, but quickly, let's, just before I let you go, Ron, let's quickly talk about the Classic. This lat tear with Chris Bumstead. Are you buying that?
I wouldn't question. I would never call Chris Bumstead a liar. I don't think he's making it up. No, I think he did, but I'm sure when he says lat tear, we're thinking of like the lat torn off the bone. It was probably a very minor tear, what we call a strain, but that's enough at that level. And especially, I think he's like 6 weeks out from the Olympia, and he's got a target on his back where close to 40 guys the last year.
Yeah, good. That's a good point. Good point.
But I believe after watching especially another Classic Physique Olympia judging, it's much more competitive than the Open Mr. Olympia is. When you go down to the third and fourth call-out guys, some of them look like they could easily be in the first call-out.
Yeah,
it's not like the guys that are placing poorly in the Classic suck. They're all really good. You know, some of them are better than others. But so Bumstead, I believe it. This was the first time that I was really questioning his dominance. In the past 4 years, as soon as they all walked out, it was okay. Congratulations, he's got this.
Yeah.
This time, Ramon was fuller.
Wow, yeah.
I think he actually was sharper, especially from behind.
Yeah.
He had him on condition. This is, you know, we talk about presentation. This is one of the categories where I think presentation made the difference. Because Ramon doesn't exude a lot of confidence on stage. And his posing is still has a lot of room for improvement. I keep hearing better, but certain shots, like I don't like the way he hits his frontal bicep.
Yeah, with the one arm and the other arm. It's weird. Yeah. And Chris just like boom, just I
just feel like he's not as good at showcasing the strong points of his physique as Chris is, and he just doesn't exude that championship mentality and aura to me on stage. Because physique-wise, damn impressive.
Yeah.
Totally, it came down to a two-man call-out.
I was super impressed with Ramon this year, and when I saw the photos, I was like, wow, he really nailed this. Yeah. And I think obviously because he struggled with the height and weight, the limit and stuff, you know, to make weight, and I think he looked better because of the height, the weight increase. You know, there's a guy that probably was a lot more relaxed. But it's not that I wasn't impressed with them last year, but I didn't get what all the hype was about. But this year, 100%, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. But for me, quick observations about Chris. I noticed the back wasn't popping like it was last year. He wasn't quite as hard from the back. His biceps were a lot bigger, because remember he had the torn bicep. They were they doubled in size. Yes, I had Chris winning, but I feel like Ramondino absolutely closed the gap a lot more than last year.
And, you know, I certainly wouldn't wish this, but if Chris keeps getting hurt.
I know. Hamstring, bicep, quad, lat. I mean, the thing is, when you see him training, he's super strict. I mean, what is he doing? When the cameras aren't on him training like an idiot, I don't think so. I just don't know what to think.
If anything, people tend to train more like a moron when the camera is on them. I mean, I hope he can stay healthy and injury-free, because that could be... I hate to see someone, but that's how Jay eventually overtook Ronnie and beat Ronnie, was because Ronnie's body just started apart, basically. I hope that doesn't happen to Chris, but I was more impressed with Chris last year as well. I was overall. I did see the improvements to the biceps and so forth, but condition was better last year. just had a little more of everything last year. It was clearly good enough to win, and I didn't hear too many boos aside from the Brazilians in the audience. They were pretty upset.
Couple of quick things I'd like to just mention on Classic. Rough Diesel's posing routine was obviously completely incredible. I was absolutely mesmerized. And I think two physiques that really, really are worth noting was Michael de Bull and Wesley Vissers.
Yeah.
They were 6th and 7th. Michael was 6th. Wesley was 7th. I thought both of them brought their absolute best, and I want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I was super. De Bull, especially conditioning.
Oh, wow.
Never, ever disappoints, but he was next level. He was peeled. And Wesley's gotten better and better. Is that the same as he did last year, or was he 8th last year? Yeah, so he moved up a spot. You know, it's so competitive. I think the top 10 Classic is more competitive deeper down the line than Open Mr. Olympia is.
Oh, massively.
The 10th place in the Mr. Olympia is nowhere near the level of like the top 3 guys.
Yeah.
But in Classic, you could argue that they are. They sure are.
Well, the Olympia this year, it was the top 3 and then everybody else, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Quickly, of course, being a UK guy, I cannot not mention Ryan Terry winning the men's physique.
Sure.
Absolutely phenomenal. Because like I said, we went to see him in 2020 and I filmed him training for Global because he's only about an hour and 20 minutes away from me, Nottingham. So he's literally down the road. And then he said to me then, he says, yeah, I've probably got another year. He says, I've got this problem with my hip and I've got this injury and I've got this niggle now. He says, in the morning I'm really stiff. And well, he certainly overcame them because, I mean, I thought he was kind of on the tail end of his career 3 years ago. He kind of said he was. He said he was. He says, yeah, I've got properties and sponsorships and other businesses. And like, he said, I'm probably going to give it another year. That was 2020. So 3 years later, the guy goes, because he's been going hard since 2015, He said this was his 9th Olympia. Wow.
So, it's good to see somebody that has that perseverance and they're not an old sensation. He worked it took him almost, I think his first Olympia was over 10 years ago. So he's worked long and hard for this. And like I said, first UK men's physique Olympia champ. So good on him. Congratulations.
He turned pro in 2015. And then I think he went he won a pro show, I think in Spain. And then he went to the Olympia and did well. But I mean, this is the guy who's won the Arnold Classic. He's been second to the Olympia, to Buendia, maybe six years ago. So I was really, really, I messaged him today and he was out walking and he sent me a voice note and he said it still hasn't sunk in, Giles. He said, I've just literally gone out for a walk by myself. He said, thank you so much for the messages. I really appreciate it. He says, but he said, I'm thinking it's going to hit me any moment now.
Yeah. Very happy for him. One of the many titles that changed hands. We didn't get too many of reigning champions holding on to their titles. So in that aspect, it was a very exciting. I think it's a good thing for the sport when you have shakeups like that. It keeps it builds more storylines and drama and anticipation for next year. So-and-so wants to get their title back. So-and-so doesn't want them to. And, so I'm not upset that we had so many titles change hands because I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, then final thing I'd like to ask you, what was your most memorable moment or moments of the entire Olympia?
I guess I would say first call out of the Mr. Olympia with Derek and Hadi because we were all anticipating that rematch all year long. We wanted to see how much each of them had improved and would Derek get him this time, would Hadi? Everyone was just on the edge of their seats when they filed out and they both looked phenomenal and we knew it was going to be a battle. We knew there was no way of predicting at that point. And even after the first night, I was still very much undecided as to who was going to win.
Was there any is there any talk about Ramy? Like obviously, with him, no one was really talking about him at the.
Not around me. I'm sure people were.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's the feeling? Is he? Do people want him to come back? Do they think he can come back? And
I mean, a lot of people seem to think he's done, and other people, obviously, a lot of his fans hope otherwise.
Yeah.
They hope he'll come back. I mean, I don't know what would happen if he only got 5th place at the Arnold, looking as good as he did there.
4th.
Was he 4th? I'm sorry. Yeah, Sean Clarita was 5th. I can't see him getting the title back. He would have to be so much better than he was back in 2020 and 2021.
And he looked good at the Arnold as well.
He did.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Olympia where he blew it. Do you know what I mean? His physique was like, oh my God, what's happening? I mean, I was really impressed with what he did at the Arnold. And yeah, so maybe the writing's on the wall. But he's had a good career. He's been around since 2013 at the Olympia, you know, took his time, you know, really just like Clarida, just moved up every single year. You know, incredible.
Yeah, if he never competes again, he had an amazing run. Two-time New York Pro Champ, 2-time Mr. Olympia, millions of fans all over the world, supplement company of his own.
Yeah.
All kinds of contracts. I'm sure he's a mega star in Egypt.
Yep.
Yeah, he can ride off into the sunset if that's what he decides to do, without any regrets.
So, very, very final question. What if you were to predict what the biggest storyline of next year will be for the Olympia? What do you think it will be?
If Rami comes back, that'll be it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be Hadi trying to reclaim his title.
Wow.
Yeah. I think, because I mean, Bumstead, people just expect Bumstead to win and win and win until he decides he's done.
I had a funny feeling that he was going to win this 5th one and then literally announce retiring.
Yeah, I was like waiting. When he got the award, I whispered him. You know, me and my cock sit there and joke with each other. I'll make dumb, silly jokes the whole show.
Yeah.
So I said, I retire. I was supposed to be Bumstead talk. Mike laughed because I wouldn't have been surprised. It would have been sad because he's going to walk away. You know, he's all set. He doesn't need to compete ever again.
Yeah.
He's a superstar.
It's not going to add anything, is it?
No, he's one of those guys who's transcended the sport the way Cutler did.
Yeah.
With businesses that he owns and the worldwide popularity. He doesn't need to compete ever again. So I wouldn't have been one bit surprised if he called it a career at 28 years old with 5 titles.
Wow, 5 titles. Ron, also want to say, mate, you did a fantastic job. I didn't watch all the interviews, but I watched a fair few of them. Did a really good job. I honestly, and you're only doing the wrap up, so I get really possessive. I feel really like,
I know.
I said, get away, swat him away.
He never got back to me. I think he was kind of busy with Samson and a couple other athletes, but I asked him if he wanted to do it. Yeah. I didn't see. Did Milos do any other wrap-ups?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's why. That's why he didn't get back to me about doing it with MD.
Well, oh well. But, mate, you did a fantastic job, mate. And also, I was really happy to see you walking around because I tell you what, mate, that was a very, very fast recovery. Well,
I'm not fully recovered, and I was in a very restrictive leg brace the whole weekend.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You should have seen it. It's a pain in the ass to put this thing on. But, yeah, it kept me safe. And luckily, there wasn't as much walking it was a lot of walking, don't get me wrong, but there's been other Olympia venues where there was even more walking involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't miss the Olympia. When the accident happened, one of the first I was doing in my head, okay, it's August 30th. I'm lying here on the sidewalk.
Hardcore.
If I get surgery within a few weeks, will I be able to go to the Olympia? That was like my main concern. It's like, I can't miss the Olympia.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my job. If I'm the online editor, if I'm not there to sort of be at the helm of the coverage, it's rough. That's like my main job is to make sure we get the best coverage possible. And if I'm not there to do it, oh goodness. Well, luckily I was there. So
well, you did a tigerific job, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Tigerific.
Mate, I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much, mate, for giving us a rundown. I know we do it every year, but I really, really appreciate it, mate. And I was up till I watched the whole thing both nights. I was up till 3:14, I think 3:15 a.m. I went to bed the first night, and then I went to the gym in the morning, and then I did exactly the same on Saturday and Sunday.
Wow.
So it was in here. It was fantastic. Honestly, it was. I mean, when you really immerse yourself in it and you watch and I watched pretty much. I missed because I got the clocks hadn't gone back, so I missed the first 45 minutes of the fitness, and I saw the messages come through on the group, and I was like, hang on a minute, the fitness is on for 15 minutes, and then Jen said, no, it's 4 hours, not 5 hours, because your clocks have just gone back because there's a gap, isn't there? There's a lag between the UK and America. And I was like, oh, shit. So I missed. Oh, yeah. No, obviously felt so bad for Missy. That was awful. But the female categories have been covered by Lauren in Buff Bombshell. We've just filmed it today.
So, guys, check that out. Check out the Buff Bombshell Olympia Women's Divisions recap because I did a piss poor job of covering it. Yeah, thanks for doing that, Lauren. Appreciate it.
All right, then, mate. I'll let you go. I'm going to film Hot News now. But thank you so much, Ron Harris, for coming on MD Global Muscle.
Thank you.
Take care then, mate.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, and welcome back to MD Global Muscle Season 5, Episode 54 of Hot News. And, of course, I'm joined by Lady T herself, yawning.
Hello.
I just totally got you there. Hey, hang on. I've just had a thought. I do have them sometimes. I have 54. I think we might be getting close to the 200th episode of MD Global Muscle.
That's amazing.
I'm going to do... as soon as we finish filming, I'm going to write all down how many episodes were in each season. I don't want to do it now, because it's boring. I think that's cool. Anyway, obviously the big news is the 2023 Olympia. Absolutely phenomenal show. I stayed up both nights watching the live stream till about 3:30 in the morning. Did you enjoy it, Lauren?
Amazing.
It was very good, wasn't it? Do you remember the one we watched in 2020? We did it in this studio. You sat there, watched it on the screen, and it was great. I had snacks and a couple of glasses of wine, and I was just, oh my God, I was just so... And I watched pretty much all the divisions. I missed, on the second day, I missed the wheelchair, the bikini, like the judging, but I watched the finals.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think it compared to other Olympias?
In terms of pay-per-view and the online streaming, that was the best quality that we've had so far.
Yeah, it was.
In terms of the Olympia, from what I got to experience for the first time last year, I would say it was just as good. But the only thing that I liked more about this one was the non-flashing backgrounds.
Yeah. I think I thought the stage looked absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I think, I just and the event it was completely sold out. It was a huge success. Looks like the expo was huge. It looks like everyone turned out. You know, the body. One thing I've never got: if you call yourself a proper bodybuilding fan, and you've never been to an Olympia in America, how can you call yourself a fan if you've never been to Olympia? I mean, I'll show you something very, very cool here. Have a look at this.
Is this the thing? Should I close my eyes?
Look at this. Check this out. Look, can you see that? This is my press pass. Hang on, there we are. My press pass, the 2002.
2002.
I had to check then. No, because my first Olympia was a 2001. Oh, yeah, it was 2002. Yeah, 2002 was my first Olympia when I got the press pass. And if you look at the bit that's been scrubbed out, because it was Kevin Horton who helped me get the famous photographer who did the black and white Dorian shots, you know, the sock shots. Very famous, like Dorian's main photographer, really. He kind of basically put a word in to get my press pass. And someone, for some reason, thought that I was from the UK and I was working for Flex magazine. And Peter McGough, our dear friend, said no, he doesn't work for Flex magazine. He scrubbed it out with a felt tip. But I got my press pass, and I was backstage with Gunter, and I said hello to Joe Weider, and Ronnie was there, Kevin Navrone. Do you know what? You know where the snake is? Snakey.
Yes, I do know where Snakey is.
Underneath in that cabinet, there's some negatives from the 2002 Olympia backstage that I've never ever shown anyone.
Every time we have guests, they don't want to go near Sneaky.
Well, he's guarding the precious negatives from the 2002 Olympia photos I took.
We should get those. What do you call it?
You can get it transferred onto a.
What do you call it when you have to? Is it developing or something like negatives?
No,
I'm more digital.
No, you can get a negative scanner, and it'll digitally put them onto a memory stick. Like you literally put it in and it scans them.
That's a lot of effort.
And then it doesn't matter if you lose the negatives then. But I've got backstage photos from the 2002 Olympia. Chris Cormier, Ronnie Coleman, Kevin Navrone, Art Atwood, Craig Titus. I was so busy backstage. Well, Gunter was there. I mean, it was so many photographers. It's fantastic. And back then you could just literally run back and forth. You just had to flash that. It was absolutely incredible. So yeah, I got very good memories from that. A lot of memories. I've lost a lot of memories from that show because I did a lot of partying, but from that trip. But we won't talk about that. But but what an Olympia, man! Was it predictable? No, it wasn't predictable. Let's just ponder on that one, shall we?
Sorry, there were some good surprises.
Yeah,
there was a lot of drama.
I think the thing that popped into my head was Missy.
I know that's the worst.
That's an Olympia champion that her performance on a routine depends on whether she even gets if she doesn't finish her routine, then that's it. She's not just out of that round. She's out of the show. Mm-hmm. Like she's not gonna. So that's the defending Olympia champion. Because I saw it and I thought, oh no, and she just shook her head like that, and I thought, oh no, bless. In fact, I haven't messaged her yet. I'm going to message her because I love Missy and she's lovely. And I mean, imagine how all your life revolves around that show and you're prepping and you're training and everything hinges upon, it's like a power lifter, walking to to the powerlifting meet and then like, you know, slipping on some ice or something, and it's just something going wrong where you can't perform, or you're doing a warm up in deadlifts, and if you're world champion deadlift and you pull your shoulder or something on the second warm up set, you know, it's just something. It's just, I really feel for Missy. So and we'll come to the other story in a second, but yeah, let's get right into it because I want to get straight into it. I really look. Oh my God, this is bodybuilders like borders. I tell you what. Who'd have thought last year we'd have been saying Crizzo is a guy that cannot get condition? Oh my God, look at that. Look at the stripy delts, Lauren. Look at the detail. I mean, look, that's like a condition of a lightweight on a guy that's like, what, 260 something?
Crizzo should get work in movies as like a Bond villain.
Yeah, he would be good,
he'd be really perfect for that.
Yeah. I'd be a good Bond villain. Or do you think I'd be a good James Bond?
Villain. Sorry.
I'll take it. Wow, holy shit. Do you know what, Lauren? It's the first time I've seen these pictures. I knew he was shredded, but oh my God, I didn't realize he was that shredded. And also, look what he sorted. He sorted the color.
Yeah, I know. I'm really impressed with him. I think compared to last year, he's made substantial improvements to a couple of different things, which probably pulled him down a bit, but they've really, he's really taken it on board, and he's just improved so much. He's
got rear delts like Coke cans.
Oh yeah, look
like
at that.
Cans of Pepsi, depending on which one you choose.
Amazing.
Absolutely. But look at the stripes. Look at the separation. See, this is what I like to see. It looks like he's literally been skinned alive, and then he's just basically had some tan put on. But I tell you what, he could definitely put some more muscle on his back. But what a showing for Crizzo. I predicted he'd get 7th, and I'm very, very happy he got 7th. I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd got 6th over Hunter, but obviously Hunter did very well in 6th place. And I hope you enjoyed the review myself and Ron Harris did there. But yeah, I felt like when he came out at the finals, he looked a bit flat. But then as he started posing, he got big. He kind of filled out because I thought, oh no, has he just not eaten anything from day 1 to day 2? Because he looked like considerably smaller, almost like Brandon did on day 1 when he didn't have any food in him. And then day 2, he kind of got bigger. Crizzo was the opposite. Crizzo kind of got smaller. But the separation, the conditioning, absolutely phenomenal. I really, really want to see him a little bit fuller though. In Prague. I'd love to see that same condition, but just come in with a slightly fuller look, because Crizzo is a big guy, and I just want to see him kind of, you know, I want to see him popping really, you know. But I mean, I look at me. I'm a conditioning snob, Lauren. You know me. But I tell you what, only 1 year into his pro career, like I said, he won the EVLS Prague that we were at doing live stream commentary last year. He made tremendous strides from the Olympia, where he took 12th place in his first Olympia, to taking the Spain show earlier this year, where I couldn't believe his posing, his tan, his condition had gone to completely another level in a very... I tell you what, Samson, Andrew Jack and Crizzo, the 3 fastest improving pros on the planet right now. I can't think of anyone that's made more significant improvements in a shorter space of time than those 3. Guys, if you actually have... If you... What?
I totally agree.
If you disagree, or you have somebody else that you feel has made improvements to the level of those guys have, think about in the short space of time. Andrew, like turning pro last March at the Arnold Classic Amateur, to what he's done in the last year and a half. We've got Crizzo from last summer from turning pro there. And of course, what Samson's done in the last 2 years with Milos Sarjev, going from 270 on stage, winning his first pro show. Do you know what? Samson's only won 2 pro shows. And he's 3rd in the Olympia, and the second show was the freaking Arnold Classic. And he beat Nick Walker, Andrew. I mean, like, going from 270 at the end of 2021, November 21. So, hang on, 2 years later, he's competing at 300 pounds.
That's amazing.
In better condition than he was at 270.
He's just following the plan.
How is that even possible? I mean, Samson for me was very much improved. I like the condition. I thought he bought the best package that he and Milos could bring.
Samson is like a fairy tale bodybuilding story.
Yes, he is.
Because of all of the stuff that you could literally do a little movie about Samson with all that stuff, and it would make a really good movie.
Lauren, you know Generation Iron, they've done the Ronnie Coleman, the Dorian Yates, they've done a Rich Gaspari one, they've done I think they've done 2 Kai Green ones, they've done, you know, the ones of the influencers. They need to do one about Samson, because you're right. That's Generation Iron. Get onto this and do the level of production of documentary. I was at the Dorian Yates premiere.
Why don't you play us?
And I was sat right behind. How surreal is that? Going to a premiere at it was one of these cinemas with the big seats.
Yes.
The big like sofa seats and stuff. And it was all obviously invite only. and all the people from the industry. And then literally I got my seat and I didn't know, I just found the first seats to sit. And then literally Dorian and Gal sit smack bang in front of me. And then I was watching him. I was watching the film, which I thought was fantastic, but also watching him watching himself because he'd not seen it yet. So getting Dorian's reaction from something that's about his life story, his achievements. Like, I was really, and he was just completely transfixed. Because you know with Dorian, he doesn't really give much emotion. You can't really tell what's going on in Dorian's mind. He's very much, he might be a fantastic poker player. But anyway, back to Crizzo. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, God, Samson, have a chat with Generation 9 and get a documentary made, because that would be, and also the Phil Heath one is out in early next year.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
so,
the Rock's been promoting it.
Oh, so keep your bodybuilding eyes on that.
Why did it take so long though? Because you think, like that was made for when Phil did his comeback at the 2020 Olympia. And it's going to be 4 years, well, 3.5, 4 years from when they made it to.
Maybe there were just some production issues with COVID and everything.
No, it was filmed. No. It was all filmed in 2020.
Okay, so it's a really long time. It's a little bit out of date.
I don't know. I mean, it's made by $7 Production and Danny Garcia. In fact, because I put a comment on I think it was on Phil's post a couple of years ago, and I said, I can't wait for this to come out. And then Danny Garcia came on underneath, and she said, me too. She said, yes, me too. And I'm thinking, well, you're the one producing it. You're the one making it. Well, so that was like 2-3 years ago. But anyway, from the trailer I've seen, and The Rock's really obviously got The Rock promoting it, because it's his company, it's $7 Production. So I think that's going to be a real winner. I think it's going to be a real winner, because the thing is, Phil's good, and they got Kai Green in it. They've got Jay Cutler. I think Steve Weinberger's in it. They got a lot of people from the industry, like commenting and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to watch that one, and I hope it portrays him better than it did in the first Generation 9, because I think that really hurt him. They created a narrative that he was this spoiled rich kid that was just coasting by on genetics, and there was Kai Green in this grotty flat, and and he was living like an underdog. It was like a Rocky. Basically, they watched Rocky, but yeah, we'll do that. Well, but Kai Green's going to be Rocky, and Phil's going to be Ivan Drago, so we're going to make him the villain. And that's why I think Phil got a lot of. I think that didn't help Phil, but I'm hoping this documentary will change that. So anyway, back to Crizzo. I just can't get over these photos. Can you put this on full screen, please? Because I need people to see. I mean, the quality of this man's conditioning. Yeah, he looks a lot smaller there. But obviously a wise move. He got 7th place, up from 12th place. I did predict that he would get 7th, and I'm really, really happy for him. But bringing that level of conditioning, not as a kind of starting point for like year 2, let's say, is I think that was a really smart move, because just coming in big and kind of bulky, and like he kind of was at EVLS last year. He looked a bit sloppy last year with the tan and stuff, but he's obviously someone that really pays attention to critique and applies it and improves it. So I really respect him for that and his team. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him up against Nathan Diasha at Prague in 2 weeks' time, because he is down. He's obviously one of the team members. So that's going to be a really, really interesting showdown. I'm really excited for that. I'm doing the live stream commentary there, so I'm really excited. Crizzo. And his posing routines. Oh, look, I love that shot, that readable bicep. I remember when he hit it at Prague last year, and I just went, holy shit. Go watch the live stream. You could hear me swearing. I just couldn't believe like the level of detail and separation. And I mean, look at that. I mean, he's just covered in stripes. I love it. Yeah, wow, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, really, really impressive. You can't. Thing is, condition like that, you can't hide. Every single, even when you're relaxed, you're moving around. It's just everything's flickering and fibering and exploding and like fucking fireworks. When I was talking to Ron, because it's November the 5th today, guys. Bonfire night. Ron didn't even know what bonfire night was.
Well, it's not an American thing.
I thought everyone knew about November the 5th. Have they not seen V for Vendetta, which we're watching tonight?
To be fair, V for Vendetta does really. It does, but it does not.
It does. Explains the bloody gunpowder plot, the whole bloody story of trying to blow up Parliament in, I forget what century it was. But I was really shocked that he didn't know about that. It's like I've never really paid much attention to Thanksgiving. I don't really understand what it's about. The Pilgrims or something?
Let's move on from this subject.
I don't know. I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying I don't know much about it.
Well,
I know they eat turkey like we do at Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
No, they do. They stuff themselves on turkey. They do. And then and there's something about pilgrims coming home or something. I really, honestly, I'm not being a dick here.
Maybe we need to experience a Thanksgiving in order to be able to comment.
What, in the UK?
No, we need
why don't we do Independence Day as well?
No, because that's not for
Americans have a lot of holidays.
I know.
But then again, we have
forward to the time when I celebrate this.
But Lauren, look how many bank holidays we have.
I know we do. We have many.
Nine
Holidays.
Nine. I hate bank holidays. They have Labor Day. They have all these different ones. I mean, they were like, oh my God, when I was working for RCSS for Ronnie Coleman, like they were like, oh, another national holiday. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, no, it was just an observation, being a Brit. Sorry. Not a criticism. Don't get down my throat, guys. But bonfire night, fireworks, and we burn things, basically. That's it. That's what we do. It is that. I mean, there is no, I don't think people even know what the meaning of Christmas is anymore. Or Easter. Easter bunny or something. Right, okay, then let's have a look. What? Lauren, come on, focus. We've got to look at, oh, wow, look at this. This is good video. Right. Close-up footage of the pose down. Thank you, Fede. Okay, see, I honestly, I did think Hadi had it.
I thought it was close.
But I was happy for Derek winning it.
So I totally went into this thinking that Derek was going to win it.
You did. I didn't. I thought Hadi was going to win it all along.
I was like, Derek is number one all the way. And then I saw this video with the pose down and when Hadi came out and I was
Bring this up full screen, please.
And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe Hadi's got it again. He's gonna good. But Derek's midsection in his pound for pound, just smooth. There's just a lot of factors that I also think
wow, sorry. I know. Every time I see Derek's back shot, look at that. I know. Lauren, do you know what? Let's just get a reminder that that's a human body.
I know.
Like, do you know? I know we get so used to seeing these guys on stage, and you think like that you're watching something like we look at films full of CGI all the times, and and stuff like this, and what?
Can you move the cursor?
Oh, sorry, it's annoying you. And then, you sometimes become desensitized. It's like, like we see killing in movies and it's not real. Like you sometimes get people get desensitized in the fact that that's a human body. Like, isn't it incredible what can be done with a human body?
It is absolutely.
I've been in this industry nearly 30 years and it still blows my mind. But let me just point out the things that I thought maybe Hadi could have left the door open. His back wasn't as hard as the front or the side like it was last year. I felt like his tan on day one wasn't dark enough. It was yellow. And I don't really feel like he fixed it on the second day. The right leg was slightly smaller than the left. And his quads were a little bit fuller and thicker. If you go look at the Vancouver 2019 or San Marino 2017, go and look because his quads were slightly bigger. And I felt like there's a bit of disparity between the left and the right leg. The pose routine I thought was complete dog shit. I'm really annoyed about that, actually. No, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Lauren.
No, it
really annoyed me. Just same music. I was like, what? Same music? I mean, like literally, he just didn't put anything together. No thought. He just got whatever the music. I'll just use the same music as last year. And I don't think that's what you should be doing when you come to the Olympia. I'm sorry, that is bullshit.
You guys know I'm a big fan of the most muscular pose, but if that is your entire posing routine, then you can't really call it a routine.
I know, and Ron said something very interesting, which I didn't even notice. I saw it on the group chat. He didn't hit a single back pose in his posing routine.
I know.
He didn't do any floor poses. No. There was no transitions. It was basically what you do at like a 1 minute guest posing. I just thought that was, I think, I think it's little things like this, all these little details. Okay, then you're not as hard from the back. Okay, that's fair enough. Every physique has got its strengths and weaknesses. Sometimes bodybuilders aren't conditioned in every single area of their body. Some are, Then, like I said, the tan, the posing routine, and also the walking off at the end. I didn't like that. I thought that was very disrespectful. We spoke about it with Ron, like I said in this episode. You've heard what I've got to say on it, but I just think, you need to do everything right on the day and prepare yourself so you don't leave any gaps for people to basically exploit, any weaknesses to exploit, Lauren. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I think you're pretty spot on there. For me, I am most cheesed off by the walking off. I think it's bad. Not only just, I'm just going to say my piece and then I will stop because you can't see me. But I think it's disrespectful to also the other placings behind Hadi because it says that second place is not good enough. And if, how many Olympians only wish that they could place better? How many pros wish they could be an Olympian? How many amateurs could wish they could? It's like, it's saying it's not good enough. And I'm sorry that he didn't get... No, I got to make one more point.
Sorry.
But like, I just got to say, remember when Ramy got bumped down from first to fifth?
Yeah, he took that like a champ.
Or when Issa got bumped down from first to sixth.
In a bikini.
And then when Missy, she even congratulated Oksana in the video that she did on the weekend.
I want to say something before you maybe you can get to yourself is Sean Clarida. Sean Clarida, I thought had won that. And the way he reacted, I watched every single second, every body language, every little movement, everything in the way that he was. I was watching him till he walked off the stage and then you couldn't no longer see him on the live stream. He appeared to be genuinely happy for Keon. And maybe inside he was thinking, he's probably thinking, shit, I had this. This is my title. This is what he lives for. He trains for all year round. And then, like some guy who was 7th last year comes and beats him, and he's thinking, shit, this kid, he's half the size of me. Well, he probably thinks that is, because, Clarida's a freak, let's be honest. And, but he handled it. And that is why I think that made Hadi look even worse, him doing that. I've heard stories of Hadi when he lost the career in 2017 to Flex Lewis. I heard stories that he was going crazy backstage when he lost. Somebody who was there said he headbutted the wall. Wow. And he shoved... Right, I've heard it from the source. Said he shoved Ryan Terry's girlfriend.
Well, let's just say.
So basically, the guy was going ballistic backstage, and I didn't see that. I was no live stream back then, but like that kind of behavior when you're at this level, you can't do that because thing is,
not even at this level.
Hadi's coming back next year, is he? I'm guessing he did. So and you want those fans to be, and you want people to be supportive. You don't want to give the fans any reason to root against you, and it's something that you have control over. I'm sorry. Well, you have control over it.
I totally agree, but even at an amateur level, please don't do that because every single second is recorded, everyone.
Yeah,
and you do not want somebody to lose respect for you because you decided to have a strop and you didn't stay on stage. Yeah. Wait until you get off stage. It was
Lauren. How long have you been on stage for? Half an hour over, and it was only literally another 10-15 seconds. He had to just. And do the top 5 photo, which obviously then goes everywhere, and then people are going to go, well, where's the guy who got second? It's just stupid.
Anyway,
no, I disagree with that. Anyway, let's have a look at something else because I've watched this video 20 times now. But saying that, I did actually think Hadi was going to win. But very, very happy for Derek. I messaged him this morning. He said thank you.
I think what pulled Derek through for me also was that posing routine and just the quality of the showmanship and just everything. I just thought that was spectacular.
I'm sorry. I saw these photos today and this just blew my mind. Look at that.
I know he's it's his time. He looks stunning, and he's like
what is that?
Sort of I don't know what. I don't know how that's possible.
That's a man's body. No, let's just get down to brass tacks. That is a man's body. How is that physically possible? Honestly, I think that could hang next to like a peak Phil Heath.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think in terms of readable biceps, I think that's up there with. That would hang next to Phil Heath, say it is peak years. Regardless of what you think that is. 2011 or 2013 or 15 or whatever. He was very consistent, Phil Heath, before the stomach happened. And also, like I think that would even look good next to Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, that would. He's up there.
Yeah, and thing is, you're not just talking about the back. You look at the glutes, the hamstrings. And do you know what somebody said to me today? He's got terrible calves.
Have a look at his calves.
He's got really good calves.
I like his calves.
What are they talking about? You're talking nonsense. Oh, someone's like hiding them there.
That's a fantastic shot.
Yeah, and someone was saying he's putting crap in his lats, and I'm like, what?
I think that's sweat, and then that's discoloration from the tan underneath the armpits.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, or it's just shine from the sheen or whatever. That's not sticking something. Why would he put something in his lats? Because look at him from the back. Hang on, look at him from the back. Look, there is no blurriness. He's light years ahead in terms of separation and conditioning than Hadi in this pose. He absolutely destroys Hadi in this pose.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, from the back. He was a lot harder from Hadi from the back. I thought he took him in the frontal bicep as well, personally, Derek.
That's good.
Good shot. Yeah, it's a good shot.
Nice midsection, good abs.
Yeah.
That's my favorite pose on him.
And he looks aesthetic as well as freaky and dry and shredded. This guy's been on an absolute mission all year to win this title, and I'm so happy for him. I was there when he did his first pro show, a week after turning pro, 2017, Tampa. A week after. So basically, imagine that, right? 2017, right? You win the USAs, because his Instagram name used to be Mr. USA. And I said, mate, you need to change that. You're a pro now. And he said, well, no, being Mr. USA is a big deal for me.
What does that mean? What's Mr. USA?
Well, the pros, like the nationals, USAs.
Oh, that's
he won the USA's in the July, I think, or July or something.
Oh, the USA. Okay.
The US Nationals, whatever. And then the Nationals later in the year. And then 1 week later, he goes and does the Tampa 212, wins it. Then he goes to Olympia, gets 5th place in his first Olympia. Bearing in mind, in July, he was an amateur. And then he won Rookie of the Year.
Amazing.
I wonder how he feels about, because I spoke to Ronnie Coleman and I said, what's your most memorable Olympia? I said, nothing but a podcast. And he said 1992 Olympia. The first Olympia he did 1 year after turning pro, when he didn't even get a call out and he didn't even get placed. He got last place. Not 98, not 2003, not his last one, not his 8th one, when he's like matching Lee Haney's record. So I wonder if Derek would feel like that first year is as or more or less meaningful than this year, where he's actually achieved the goal. Honestly, no, but Ronnie said that. Ronnie won 8 Olympias, and he's talking about a show he did where he got last place. That's like Brandon Curry saying. That's like me saying to Brandon Curry. So Brandon, what's your most significant year? Obviously, the year you won the Olympia, the one Olympia you won, the Arnold Classic, as well in that same year. No, the 2016 when I got last place. Like, that's basically what Ronnie was saying.
But maybe that's what lit a fire under Ronnie's ass so that he would carry on going, because he doesn't ever want to be lost again.
So my point is, maybe Derek would say, do you know what 2017 was from July to like the September, October, in like 2 months, he went from being an amateur athlete to standing on stage and making top 5 at the Olympia and Rookie of the Year.
Star is born.
I think that's I wouldn't be surprised if he said that was more significant than this year. And don't forget, this is Derek Lunsford, who's won 2 Olympia titles now, 212 and the Open.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
I'll ask him. I'll get him on. I'll get him on.
Just one other tip for the guys that are watching this. If you're worried about sweating on stage, I would definitely recommend getting Botox underneath the armpits, or like into them, obviously.
I'm thinking about getting Botox.
Yes, but I'm talking specifically...
Oh, you're saying I need it? Oh, you're saying I need it?
No. But I'm talking specifically for that area of sweating. If you don't want to be docked down any points, etc., and you don't want your tan to run, that is a point just to highlight.
That reminds me, I need some more grated cheese in the morning.
Ew.
Look at his glutes. You could break, those like things, those the old school scrubbing boards when they wash clothes.
Yes.
Anyway, and he's got a baby due in December, January. So
very
congratulations.
soon.
I mean, he's really like, what a year it's been for him. Imagine that, winning the Olympia, and he got his new house a couple of years ago when he moved to Florida. And of course, because his wife was Jelson, she was studying for, what was it studying for?
Not sure. I need to check.
I forgot what she was studying for. But basically, they were living apart for like a year, 2 years. And I think he said to me, so I really struggled actually. So when, we've been together since we were like 17. And... we were apart, and and obviously I'm trying to, and then he got his new house, and obviously he got with Eva Jern and Hanny, and obviously the things went to a new level, and won the 212 Olympia. Then he, lost. But this year, I mean, it's just success. That's basically what you can say. So I'm really happy for him, and I think it makes it really exciting for next year because Samson's coming. Hadi's certainly going to come back, try and get that title back. I don't see him retiring anytime soon. But God, it's awesome, absolutely awesome. I mean, last year he completely blew my mind when he came out when he was at the Olympia. I mean, I was absolutely blown away last year. But
sensational.
Yeah, the only thing is that most muscular. I mean, it's not his most impressive pose, but
he can work on that now. So.
Yeah, but he's won. I mean, that's just he loves that shot. He hits that all the time when he does the arm out like that, and then he pulls the bicep up. Yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. Really highlights his physique. Yeah, do you know what? Somebody said to me today, and I was like, oh, that's a bit mean. Said, why does he stand front relaxed like that? And I think I can see what they mean now. In this photo, he's holding himself too high, isn't he? He's pushing an invisible shopping trolley.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to go back to that person actually and say, yeah, you've got a point. Yeah, a couple of people pointed that out and said, oh, he stands too weird in his front relaxed. Because I think what he wants to do, he wants to emphasize the shoulder to waist ratio, basically. And obviously when he pulls the vacuum in, it really brings the waist in. He opens himself up, and it basically just creates like a shocking, dramatic V-taper.
Those lats, I don't even know.
They just go on and on and on, don't they?
I don't know how that comes out of a person's body like that.
It just juts out. Look at that. Hang on, we've just got to zoom in here.
That's just incredible.
Look at that. Doink. I mean, that looks like
it's like an extra part of body that just comes out of him when he hits that pose, and do
you know what's weird?
How?
Like, look, he's got the cheeks there, the death face, the sunken in cheeks. But I put a picture on the group chat, and on the Meet the Athletes, or No, the check-in, he had quite a full face. So I'm guessing he's somebody who pulls water quite hard.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, because I thought, I was like, why has he got a face? It doesn't look sunken in, you know? I was like, because obviously when they're at the check-ins and stuff like that, we're all looking at their faces because that's the only bit they're showing. You know, in the 90s, I used to wait for the British Grand Prix guys at the hotel because I knew what time they'd be arriving. And they used to come into the lobby and like Kevin Avon would walk in, Vince Taylor, Paul Dillette, you know, all those guys, Ian Harrison, NASA, you know, and I could straight away, I'd be like, yep, Kevin's in condition. Yep, Charles Clermont's not in condition. Nope, he's blown it. Yep, he's fat. Lee Priest, he's not drawn in the face. I could tell straight away. So I'd go back to the show. This was before the days of the internet, and then I'd start saying, okay, look out for Kevin. Don't look out for Vince Taylor. You know, I think I wouldn't bother with so and so. I think he's blown it. You know, just purely basically based on how they looked in their face. So, but nowadays it seems like you can't tell. So, or they just, like I said, like Derek's face just completely changes overnight. Oh, what have I done there? Oh, bollocks. Shit. Hang on. Here we go. Bodybuilders aboard. We'll have a look at one more and then we'll move on. Obviously, big congratulations there to Chris Bumstead. What a ledge.
Ledge.
Yeah. Oh, video. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Holy shit. How do his glutes not cramp up?
I don't know.
I mean, they look like... I'm not saying I want to poke his butt, but, you know, like...
No, I tried next year.
Do you think I'll ask him? I'd say, look, Derek, you know, I love you as a friend.
Just see if you can touch him.
But I just really want to touch... I really want to touch your glutes. Can I just tense them like you do on stage, and I'll do it through your baggies. No funny business. I just want to like... But I just want to... I'm curious. I'm curious what those freaking... I mean, what can you feel striations?
Can you pick up pennies?
Like if he... pick up most things with them butt cheeks. But like when he like tenses them like that, can he actually feel... Can he feel the muscle? Like can he feel the striations?
How can you not feel the muscle? I don't even know how it does that.
Is it... I mean, I don't know. I never had striated glutes. Mine had too much Winstrol in them. So I had a third glute on stage once.
What?
I'll tell you that.
What does that mean?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, Winstrol, what you put... You know,
I don't really want to Google this on my phone, so you have to...
No, it's nothing dodgy. I mean, God, what do you take me for, woman? Right, Ryan Terry, I know I'm not a men's physique fan, but I mean, you know, I am a British bodybuilding fan, and I'm British, and Ryan Terry brought it home, and he won the men's physique, and I'm absolutely over the moon for him. So I did invite him to come up to the studio. And
he was busy.
I'm really going to hassle him now. I'm going to say, come on, Ryan, you've got to get your ass up to the studio. I really want to see you up here, mate. I want to see some Samson, please. I want to see our guy, because we love Samson. Yeah. He was in the studio last year. Can you believe he drove all that way? I think it's because he had his new car, and I think he wanted to give it a good rip up the road. No, like up the motorway. You know, it's a good run up the M1. And I mean, I used to have my Jag. XK84. I mean, I used to, you know, when the roads were clear and I was 28 driving a freaking 4-litre 300 brake V8 sports car, I used to open it up a little bit, maybe have gone slightly over the speed limit.
No.
Double.
Oh, Lord.
It did.
Well,
146 I got up to.
You trying to find Samson, hun.
Anyway, I'm going to go look at Samson, and I'm going to move on to the next account. Yeah, look at that. That's... Yeah, it looks... What's this, day one? I think that's day one. Yeah, because he was a little bit sharper on day two. Looks amazing, doesn't he?
He looked great.
Look at that. I was so proud of him, you know. I was so happy for him. We've had him on Global Muscle many, many times. He's even driven all the way up from down south. It was like a 6-7 hour drive, you know, just so he could come in and do an episode with us. Yeah, beautiful physique.
So shiny.
It's so shiny. That's oil, dear.
Looks amazing.
So, yeah. I think this is day one because I think he was sharper on day two. He looks actually... Do you know what? Actually, in this footage, he actually looks not in very good condition. I'll be straight with you. In this footage, he doesn't look in good condition. But on the live stream and all the other pictures I've seen, he looked a lot sharper than this. In fact, I can't look at this actually.
I can't
look at this because it's not making him look good. I'll be honest. I'm going to straight with you.
I thought he came out the first day very impressive.
Ooh, look at this.
All right, Lauren's quiet.
Sorry. Hadi. Yeah, I thought Hadi had it. I mean, it wouldn't have been riots if Samson had won. I mean, let's be apart from maybe in Iran, maybe. But, yeah, they look good, man. Andrew Jack, very, very happy for him. But he just didn't seem with it, was he? He wasn't happy. He wasn't into it. What was going on, Lauren? Tell me. So yeah, and I'm obviously
he just looks sad.
I know. Anyway, right, we're going to leave that now. We're going to go to Brandon Curry because there's a lot of drama. I mean, there was people posting that Brandon was out of the Olympia. He was throwing up blood or something. People were saying he's gone to the emergency room. So of course I reached out to Brandy, his wife, and she said he's fine. He's fine. She said he's at the hospital. She said, but he's going to be fine. I'll keep you updated. And then later on that day, she sent me a picture, which I wasn't allowed to post anywhere, of the release form from the hospital, Orlando Hospital, saying that he was absolutely fine and he was free to compete, and he was fine. They'd done all that. They put the endoscopy, and apparently it was ulcers that flared up. Like I said with Ron Harris there, ulcers that flared up, and but it was fine. And I'm glad that he took the precautions because we've had tragedies in the industry. We've had tragedies in the industry, and I really, really, really respect him for doing that. And he wouldn't eat any of the food they gave him, so he didn't eat for 36 hours. So obviously, day one of the Olympia, he was pretty flat, a lot smaller than normal. But I feel like by the end of the second day, by the time he did his posing routine, I was really, really impressed with what he managed to do. And he's got 4th place, so he's not dropped any from last year. And this was, and it was touch and go where they, at one point they must have thought, I mean, you wouldn't go to the emergency room if you thought, okay, I'm just going to pop here and I'm going to be competing later on tomorrow.
No, and ulcers are actually kind of serious because they're brought up by stress in the number one cause. So it is really impressive to see him compete, and I'm very happy for him that it all worked out the way that it was supposed to. But definitely something to keep an eye on for him, and So, yeah.
Well, I'm just happy for him. I'm happy he's back. He hasn't really posted much. Let's show this picture of two of the probably one of the coolest couples in bodybuilding, Brandy and Brandon. I've known these people for several years and did a tour with Brandon in 2020. It's where I met Lauren.
Yeah, that's me.
If it wasn't for Brandon, I said to in the live stream, I said, if Brandon hadn't won the Olympia, no, actually that's bullshit because I organised the tour even before he won. And then when he won, I did a video going like that with Brandon in the background on stage at Olympia. I was like, yes, he won. Obviously, because the tour then was really going to...
To be fair, if Brandon hadn't won, I still would have been there.
Oh, yeah.
Because...
I'm trying to do these like Disney what ifs.
Because the only bodybuilders I'd ever really seen at that point were in MuscleWorks Orpington, and me coming from this small town originally, there were no bodybuilders.
And the first thing Lauren ever said to me she basically threw out her phone and she said, please will you take a picture of me with Brandon?
I was starstruck.
And I think that's filmed.
I know.
Imagine when we're old and stuff,
I know, that was my first words.
Yeah, first words were, please take a photo of me with this lovely, handsome bodybuilder. And I'm just like, okay.
I didn't know what to say. And you seem to be taking all the photos of people. I mean, so I just thought,
Lauren,
let's
I'm teasing you, dear.
And
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Thank you, Brandon. It's brought us together. Otherwise, I'd be sat in this room talking to myself. Aww. Right, anyway, so he hasn't really... Brandon hasn't really updated, but I just want to acknowledge the fact that Brandon obviously in the end was okay, and it was a huge relief. And I was messaging every morning. I said to Brandy, is he okay? How's he doing? And she said, he's fine. She said he's just going to eat up, right, try and fill up now, because obviously he's lost a little bit of bit of time there in the hospital, and he's just trying to play catch up now. But thanks for your concern, and I'll let him know that you're thinking of him. Because I love these people; they're wonderful.
Yeah, but absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, and also the other great couple is Derek and Gelson. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Derek's won the Olympia. I mean, what is he? Hang on, he's Sean Ronan was number 14, Brandon was 15, Rami was
16, 17.
15, I can't count. What comes after 15, Lauren? Rami 16, then we got Hadi 17. So he is the 18th man in the 59-year history to win the Mr. Olympia. Just 6 years after turning pro, and it's not really worth even showing any of this stuff really, because
he's all covered up there. That's what I liked about Derek's profile. Like, he was mainly covered up.
Hang on.
Sorry, I keep quiet again.
And no. I mean, could you imagine? You'd be like,
wait, just
ready? And no. Look at that. I want to put the sound on. Yes! Look at that instant reaction. Wow. Hadi, hang on.
No.
Oh, Hadi. Come on, Hadi. Am I being too hard on Hadi? No, tell me, Lauren. Tell me.
Look, he's upset. and I can totally get on board with that.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Yes, but he still walked off, and he should have
stayed. I know, because he was doing so well. Because he was like, there, look, he's like, okay.
Look, I'm glad that he congratulated, but he should have stayed until the end. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I've seen it in pageants too. I'm not gonna just say it. But you guys, stay on stage till the end.
Yeah, because like you win some, you lose some. It's bodybuilding. You're not gonna win every single show. No bodybuilder, apart from Dorian, has ever, once they've got the title, ever lost it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's the top level. So you just
whatever level you are.
I can't honestly. I can't watch this again.
Just stay till the end. But no, like honestly, congratulations to everyone.
Look at that. Wow.
Whatever.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, can you imagine how amazing that feels?
It's a lot of sparkles.
Wow, look at that.
That's a good photo.
Yeah, Brandon. Oh, Brandon, I'm so happy for Brandon getting there. I'm happy Brandon got fourth. He's good. He's going to be happy with that, especially with what happened. But, sorry, what? Fourth. Andrew Jack was fifth.
So in the top 5, you've got 3 Olympia champions. That's pretty good.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
Apart from Samson and Andrew, like that's promising.
It was like the bikini. There was 4 Olympia champions in the top 5.
Apart from Laura Lee, but she's won the Arnolds, and I have no doubt that one day she will get there.
Were they 4 at the top 5?
4 out of 5. Yes.
Come on, Lauren, wake up. Right, okay, then, yeah, like I said, fantastic. And Derek Lunsford, he must be so happy. I'm going to try and get him on MD Global Muscle. He's always made himself extremely available. And he's like Samson. Every single interview he gives, every single one is better than the last. So, okay. Right, I'll quickly go on to UK's finest, apart from Brian Terry, is the Nigerian Lion. Look at that. Oh, he must be so happy with that. 100 grand he won.
I loved his posing routine. I'm just going to say this was the best, most artistic Samson I've seen on stage. And it was so
I'll be honest, right? I'm going to put this out there. I like his posing, but for me, it was like too much of a combination of all the bodybuilders like Melvin Anthony, Kai Green, Sean Ray, Kevin Navarone. And I liked it because it was a homage to all of them, but I wanted him to find his own style.
But he's still getting there.
No, listen. And I felt like he gets so adrenalized and he's so creative. It's like he almost gets carried away, and it's kind of beautiful to see, but I wanted to see something a bit more controlled, and I wanted to see him hold his poses. And then when he came out for that pose and routine, that's exactly what he did. It was like really slow and graceful, confident. It was like, it must be mesmerizing to see in person. So for him to pose like that, like he did, I was very happy with that.
Yeah, no, me too. I thought that was just the best.
Yeah. So anyway, I think he's a little bit of his routine, or is he this routine, or is when he coming out? Oh, look at this. Here we are. Oh, prejudging. This is prejudging. Look at that. I mean, the way he stands, the hip tilt, the way he's sort of angling his body there. Look at that. Like, that's the first look we got of Samson. He looks huge.
Doesn't look
such a beauty. Look at the legs. I mean, he carves everything. I mean, look at that. That's it. That's Mr. Olympia. That is Mr. Olympia. Yeah, look at the shoulders. Oh, there's nothing funky going on with his physique. Look at that. I mean, he's obviously just literally pumped up that minute there. So he's nice and full. Yeah, look at that. I can't fault him. I really can't fault him. I think maybe for next year, I just maybe try and get a bit more conditioned. I suppose that's the only thing he can do to really potentially win this, I mean, I don't think anyone would have gone crazy if he had won this year. I don't think it would have been, a disgrace. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think he's gone from 6th last year to 3rd this year. So yeah, fantastic. He looks good there, doesn't he? Look at that. I mean, he's just no stone unturned there with this actual muscle and the actual symmetry, and he's really paid a lot of close attention. He's worked his ass off, and I'm just so happy for him. So happy for him. Yeah, really proud of you, mate. Really proud of you.
Stunning.
Incredible. I just want to finish this. Just watch this, and then we'll finish off with news for next week. So, look at this. The way he poses like that. Oh man, all these little see, that's what I want to see. Something that's him, not something he's pinched from somebody else. So he was, his abs a little bit distended there a little bit, but that's just to do with control, But look at that. It's so polished, so aesthetic. I mean, did you ever believe we would see a 300-pound aesthetic bodybuilder ever on stage? I just never thought we'd see, like I said to Ron, I said the only time we've seen a physique that aesthetic last was Sean Roden, but he was 238 when he won the 2018 Olympia. So there's Samson. I know Samson's a little bit taller, But Samson is like 62 pounds. I mean, he's big. He's aesthetic. I just never thought I'd see it. Never thought I'd see it.
This clearly the heaviest man we've ever seen on stage?
Somebody asked me that yesterday, actually. I think Rami was over 300. I think he was around over 305, or over the 300 mark.
But they have completely different.
Lou Ferrigno in 93 was 300, but he was 6'5".
And he's the Hulk man.
Yes, yeah. When he got 10th.
Wow.
Yeah, made a comeback. I think that's one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. Imagine that. The 17-year layoff after a comeback, and then you go and get 12th in your first Mr. Olympia, and then the year back later you come 10th.
It's amazing.
Incredible, isn't it? And he's still only in his early 40s, but I mean, because he was like 25, because those guys back in the 70s, they were younger, there wasn't as many, they were all competing in their early 20s, you know what I mean, and making top. Obviously the gene pool gets larger though, and more competitors and more bodybuilders, but and then it takes longer for these guys to get to this level. Do you know what I mean? But look what Samson's done in 2 years. He's gone from 270 to 300 on stage in better condition. So Samson, absolutely incredible job, mate. Let's just see anything else we want to quickly see. I think that's pretty much all I want to see on Samson's account. Yeah, he posted this today. Look at that. Third best bodybuilder in the world. That's one happy. That is one happy British Nigerian guy. Yeah, so him and Marlene, look at that. I mean, what a year. Winning the Arnold Classic, third place in Olympia. He's got to be happy with that. And he's made $400K in prize money, and I heard what he's getting on his contract, and he's doing very well.
Let's skip over now.
He's doing very well with Hostile, let's just put it that way.
Well,
it's been put out there that they put it out there that he's the highest paid contracted athlete for Hostile.
I'll tell you what that is.
I won't say the amount because it's not, it's a bit rude, but yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it, and he's very, very, he's a sponsor's dream because he's very, very good at promoting the products and very consistent, and he's super easy to work with, I'm sure.
Yes, and just it just shows that like amazing things do happen. He's definitely, this is what I mean, the story, like he needs his own documentary.
Just gotta believe.
No, but that's what I mean.
I feel a Michael Jackson, Lauren.
Own documentary.
I feel a Michael Jackson voice coming on. You just gotta believe.
Oh my gosh.
Is that Michael Jackson?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think I'd better beat it. Sorry. I'm not going to start moonwalking, I promise. Right, okay then. Quickly going to go to, obviously next week, literally 1 week after the Olympia is the Romania Muscle Fest run by Jake Wood and Alina Popper. So we went to this event last 2 years. Not going this year. I'm going to Prague, but I'm not going to Romania. But we've got Behrooz Tabani, who couldn't make it to the Olympia from Iran, going up against Nathan Diasha. I still don't know the names that are in yet because obviously it's literally 1 day after the Olympia. So probably the next couple of days. By tomorrow, I would imagine, maybe Tuesday at the very latest, we'll see the release competitor list. So I'm very anxious to see that. Very excited. So I just want to mention Romania Muscle Fest. Guys, check out the live stream because the quality of their live stream is basically, it's the same people from the Olympia. Sorry. So they're going to have, basically what I'm saying, Wings of Strength, same team, same standards, same
This show is absolutely
incredible.
Spectacular. Like it's one of my dream shows. It's the stage, the production, everything. Amazing.
Yeah, there's not much on there, but like I said, I just want to acknowledge it. But this is the show. We'll be doing like a bit of a review next week and maybe try and get some of the competitors on. But so okay then, guys. Also, please do not forget to check out the latest issue of MD with Ronnie Coleman on the front cover. Myself did the article on Ronnie, and I messaged Ronnie, and he loved it. And did you see Ronnie posted on his Instagram where he got 8 million followers? Yes. And he said, "Love you, bro," because he said, "Great article, Giles Thomas." Oh. I was very, very happy with that. It made my day. I think I was having a bad day actually to that point. I never have bad days. But when I heard that, I was like, oh, Ronnie. Acknowledgement from Ronnie. That's just my day made. What?
No.
What are you looking at that for?
No, because I'm just thinking, like, you've had bad days last year. I mean, I can't think of anything worse than having that kind of a bad day and then...
Well, there's bad days and there's the kind of bad days I've had. Yeah, those days are not... They're not bad days. They're like...
Anything is better than
that. They're catastrophic days. But let's not go there. It's in the past. Jeez. But okay then, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Olympia rundown episode. Myself with Ron Harris and, of course, Lauren Lotte here in the studio helping me out in Hot News. And like I said, what an Olympia. What Olympia for the books. Next year it's the 60th anniversary. It's going back to Florida. Sorry, Vegas in October. I completely forgot the name of the place. I wrote it down on the forum actually when they were releasing it live because I don't want to forget about it. Okay then, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And that is it, my friends. Okay then, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And ladies and gentlemen, with Lauren Lotte in the house, we are out.